some of our dear friends from the Far East, or Far West, depending on how you look at it.
That's fair.
And we rendered aid to their wrecked ship and towed it back to shore so they could enact repairs. Pick did not like these people.
Yep.
Something about, I don't know, a lot of legs and dream stuff.
Very angry sketches.
Yeah.
Danger noodles. Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
the
it
danger
was just
spaghetti jazz
more,
hands.
I think it was more xenophobia and Orientalism than anything else. But
I'd have said
maybe that's
no
just me.
ropes, but all right.
In any case, we dragged them back to shore. We saw them on our way and picked up a stowaway who didn't want to go back home with them, which was fun. He seems scared of us and doesn't like talking or, doing anything except being a sailor. But that's okay. We met back up with... Oh, go ahead.
No, did we find out his name?
That's a very good question.
We did, and I even have it in my NPC list near the bottom.
Because if the answer's no, we're calling him Gilligan.
It's Leal. L-E-E-L.
L-E-E-L. Okay.
Indeed. No last name.
Short
Just
for
district he grew up in.
short for Gil Lealgan.
No, that is not accurate.
Let's not go that direction. In any case, we rounded the north end of the island and rendezvoused with the auxiliaries that we sent to do some stuff to the Pequay people in the ruined school of Ailra. We gave them the ship and sent them home, and the ship will come back for us later. We went to Gisbel and handed over the contract with the Dow. Lord Gisbel activated the contract, cast the spell, whatever was involved, and successfully bargained to receive, I think it was 1,000 salamander warriors.
Yeah, or something equivalent of.
Yeah. And using 100 of those flamey boys, we went out and negotiated a ceasefire and secured promises of future negotiation.
Yeah. The Pequay clan was not happy with you guys showing up with like a game-changing force. But they at least seemed willing to discuss some things with you because, as far as they were concerned, the fact that they hadn't been able to put down Gisbel's little rebellion from the beginning was, contract violation. Nuxavaro and Eberron were not as reasonable. They pretty much just gritted their teeth and said, "See you later," and left. And yeah, I think that's where we left off. Wait, I moved that by accident. There we go. Yeah. And yeah, does anybody have anything else to add? Cool.
Pick is still slightly miffed that no one was upset about the things that she was.
We can't see like you can see. I can't see dreams.
Don't matter. They are scary and bad.
He doesn't even dream. Like it's worse than that. Like he literally doesn't even dream. He just trances.
I just go to my pain cave. Yeah.
My pain cave? God, that'd be so tragic.
But I will reiterate that Purser believed, but isn't aware of the scope of the problem.
One day, maybe he'll realize it long after Pick is dead, and he'll be like, oh.
Don't get me wrong. Zach knows that it's bad news.
Luger remembers back when he could dream.
I could dream once. Pick still doesn't understand what the fuck is up with him.
He is odd, yeah.
Advanced Carnathy medicine. That's the best in the
Yeah.
world.
He, yeah. Your closest thing is like your initial take, and it still feels accurate. Luger feels like someone locked a ghost in a body, like more so than usual. Like that would probably be your estimate after him, which is that's an odd thing to do, but who knows?
I could just see it being awkward and talking to his wife, but like meaning no ill intent on what is like to be married to ghost stuck in body, but different.
So
Yeah.
wait a minute. I mean,
Uh,
I have a ghost inside my body too.
Yeah,
yeah,
No,
yeah.
but
we all
it
do,
there
don't we?
it there
Precisely.
like holds up a walnut and like shows like the natural meat of the inside of the walnut, and then it's like it is not like takes something completely random like a piece of banana and shoves it in a walnut shell.
Hey,
Oh,
that's not fair. It's still Ludger's soul in there. It's just it's got to be fastened down for
so
reasons.
okay. Are you comfortable? Like a banana can't fit inside of a walnut. It's too.
No, it fit, like squishes with her little fingers. See, it fit. It's
Are
just
you
weird.
okay?
I'm glad Purser's just like too busy to pay attention to any of this.
He just looks over and sees
That
Pick like
screech.
aggressively holding up a walnut.
I think that screech broke through Balthazar's meditation.
Um,
He breaks in and thinks the fucking demon is evaded.
Oh,
but yeah. So you guys have the option to get a little bit of rest here. You've certainly earned it, and everyone is so very, very tired. Like, the town of Gizbolkul is pretty much in ruins, but there's no, for once, for the first time in months, there isn't an invading army at its gates. And if you guys like, you could probably try and get some rest. It's been an eventful day since you got here.
Hmm. Yeah. I distinctly remember a last time in this place not being super restful just because of the sounds of industry and like volcanic activity around.
I have some good news for you then. They had to completely shut down all industry when it basically became like a bomb shelter. So, like, the worst you might hear is some like babies crying and things. Like they completely had to stop production. Um, so
That's fair.
yeah, it's I don't know if that's
A
good, but it's quieter.
random thought I just had. I'm not sure exactly how it works with elves, but if their childhood as a whole takes longer, imagine changing diapers for like 10 years.
It does not.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they physically mature by like 20. I could
It's
be
the
entirely wrong here,
It's
but
that they're societally not considered adults until like later.
until
It's
at
like
least a
how
century, I think. Yeah.
it's like how people like to say, your brain isn't fully developed, so you're still a kid until you're like 30, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, if you guys do decide to get a long rest, you will level up.
stop it! Don't
I
really.
know, right?
Do you mean
And
it?
I do,
I
I
Don't
do.
do that. Don't give me hope.
Yeah, so like, yeah, no boy, I wouldn't blame anyone for leaving over that. Jesus. All right, but for the level up stuff, Ludger, we'll just go down the list I have here. Ludger, like as you do your not sleeping, just kind of pondering, uh, there's no questioning it now. You've stepped beyond what you could do before your treatment, we'll call it. Your reflexes have grown past what the vast majority of normal humans could ever manage. And with it seems to come an increased tie to that place, the place of fog and the death of self. You're privately grateful for the new armband of the dawn, which seems to channel enough life energy to keep back the negative effects of your condition, which would probably also have gotten worse as you pulled more from Dolur. Even when you're away from Soldier's Rest for an extended period, that armband seems to ward off the creeping oblivion. But yeah, you definitely feel more. Balthazar, it's been a harrowing trip through the several Sulatar clans, but you feel like you've learned something about applying the ancient teachings of the Grave Warden monks to each of these clans' respective failures. Just pondering back on it as you meditate. The Ernix clan and their ancient detached leader who couldn't be bothered to fix the problems of her own vassals. The Lemquick clan and their inability to choose a competent leader, even in the middle of a crisis. And the Gizbo clan, who needed your group to venture hundreds of miles in search of an ancient magic to claim independence. Reflecting on each of these things drives home that just a little bit of wisdom can solve problems as well as, or even better than, brute force. After your morning meditation, when you wake up the next day, your astral manifestations seem stronger. Um, Purser, the awakening that began months ago when you first found the native variation on worshipping the silver flame has finished. Your connection to the benevolent energies that protect this world by binding Kyber's foul offspring has grown strong enough that you can mimic those very same effects when you cast spells. It's an affirmation of your faith and a point of pride. Even among the Church's forces, not many pyromancers manifest this power. Uh, the spells that you're able to finally add to your spellbook reflect this new connection. A shield of purifying fire for yourself, and an aura that lends some of the flame's power to your allies. Bemi, all this fighting and traveling has been fun and scary. You got to leave the island for the first time. Doesn't count going to other planes. You got to talk with a giant who wasn't dead, even if he was a bit mean. And you met you even met a really pretty lady who liked to ride the big dinosaur. All this has helped Larux, or Ruck as you're sure he prefers to be called, lessons really take hold. You remember him describing how to position yourself on a battlefield while sitting on the edge of a river. He pointed out one of the massive dragonflies that hunts insects and small birds. He said to follow their example in combat. Stay perfectly still when preparing for your attack, then move faster than the eye can see to dodge or retreat. It seemed a little funny to think about it, how a bug moves, especially when you could have just asked Pick. But his words do kind of make more sense now. Nothing should be able to pin you down anymore, and even if you do stop moving, that'll just make you more dangerous. Pick, for your part, it's you're watching the Drow of Gizbalkul, which is a dull affair as they trance and whatnot. There's no dreams. Your friends are fortunate. You're lucky enough to be able to watch some of your friends at least. There are some lizard folk scattered in. That's nice. But you do notice something outside. Um, there were traces of it before, but the battlefield and ruined town are rife with lingering spirits. They're lost, as many recently dead are, but you don't think they'd manifest fully even if left to their own devices. But since you're here, you know you can help the ones in the most pain. To the dead, such pain is entirely mental. It's defined by confusion and fear. Your presence alone helps to calm them, as your people's rituals were designed to do. And the inner fire that Purser showed you seems to help as well, bring a bit of light back up into each spirit. Um, One in particular, a Drow clan warrior, apparently of Eberron, although that's the bad guys, you've heard, seems frustrated as she constantly retraces her steps to the town wall before losing form and reappearing at the beginning of her trek. Uh, she's surprised when you approach her, motioning for you to be quiet as she tries to start once again. What would you like to do?
Ask her, what are you trying to do?
Feel give you a bit of a haughty look, but she seems frustrated enough to answer. She says that her name is Well, and she's on a mission to try and clear some of the defenders, so the crossbow fire isn't so withering. Pick, as you watch her like trace it again, you can see a pretty sizable blood stain where she tends to lose form.
I think it is very brave what you are trying to do. But I do not think that it goes in your favor, friend.
She doesn't particularly like hearing that, but she doesn't react aggressively. She just seems to get even more stubborn about it. And one of the things that your people can do, if you're willing to use a charge from Whispers of the Dead, you could actually help her sort of get beyond the given route.
Yeah.
That's something that's in your power to do.
I think she would.
Okay. Yeah. With that, she gets to that point near the walls, and instead of dissolving into mist, she seems shocked for a moment before she steps through and looks both. There's just a savage joy in her face as she looks around, expecting more more enemies here. Before she actually seems to see the landscape for the first time, you got the impression, as the dead often do, they were
Little
locked in
tunnel
their own.
visioned.
They're locked in their own time, so to speak. They
Yeah.
just can't see what's actually there. But she seems to notice it. She reaches up and feels around her collar, and you can see the bolt hole through her neck. She says, "I remember now. I lost the fight.
But
No matter what happened, my fight is lost. Well, thank you for helping me see that at least." And she begins to fade, the task that had tied her to this plane broken, and you feel a rush of knowledge and skill almost overwhelm you. Whale was a master of avoiding widespread attacks, and she has imparted that skill onto you.
wonderful. Yay, evasion.
And yeah, yeah. Are you guys switching to the night shift, or you like we're getting up in the morning, the drow can deal with it type thing?
Pick has no preference as always because she doesn't sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I make it work.
Purser votes for day.
Similar thing with Ludger. He, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's just a noise. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ludger, is, similar to Pick, seems extremely flexible with his schedule. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Uh,
he's fine.
Balthazar, do you have a preference? Would you like to see the sunrise?
Sure, I'll go see it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'll take the bait.
Is Ludger's wife gonna make breakfast?
She is
He's
not there. She's
yeah,
back at
she's on the ship.
Mishann.
Oh, that's right. Okay, we did. We split the fuck.
I would be impressed if Luger dragged his wife and kids into an
Disappointed.
active
I
force zone.
guess just in Bemi's mind, he was just like, "I'll wake up."
They gotta learn about the family business sometime.
Dragged him across like lethal landscape to the war zone.
Oh, you brought. Okay, great. That's just I really wanted a home cooked bacon and eggs. That sounds really good.
I mean, they have chefs here. It's not bacon and eggs, but it is sides of various I think it would be Orrock would be the main thing. It tastes, there's a pretty strong metallic aftertaste to the meal, but it is good meat. Um, but yeah, there's various other things. What is it? Crackle corn, cornbread. They have that, which they have to grind up to make it edible.
You got beans and cornbread.
I think they do have, yeah, rattle beans. They do.
Rattle beans cornbread, please. One.
Yeah, they
Take one
got
of
that.
those.
Silly.
It's
I feel like Pick just eats from the jungle and around and always just like disappears, forages, and comes back with like random stuff she got outside.
Either a fruit or like the end of a lizard dangling from her little jaw. Yeah.
Yep. She just goes out and catches her own breakfast.
Aggressively
Oh,
omnivore.
what? We are level what now? Okay,
12?
that's all
No,
right.
I don't think. I mean, one sec. Let me edit some stuff. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, Purser does like the food here. Because you got a lot of varied flavors. Cornbread, I think, is really good no matter what you do to it.
It
And
honestly has a little bit of bite to it. They add something when it's baking to give it. It's a little bit little bit sweet, a little bit spicy.
yeah,
It's
that's
different.
exactly
Jalapeno,
the flavor
jalapeno
profile
cheddar
Purser
cornbread.
gets behind. This is going to be a major tourist spot for the Thranish people.
Yeah, I mean that's so far. You say what you will about their morals and their society and their attitude, but the Sulatar Drow have damn good food by Thranish standards. Um, but yeah, this morning, oddly enough, a lot of the Drow are strapping on their goggles and heading out. They seem to be doing 24-hour shifts. Um, but all the adults or even teens who can work are heading. And it's clear from the exhausted faces that you pass by that clansfolk have been working all night. Pick you watch some of them. But honestly, you can't really tell like what they've done. Too much of what was once a thriving town has been reduced to just rubble. Like they shelled this place for weeks. Um, Not 24 hours, but once it was clear that they couldn't get at the main population, but it is nothing like what you saw just last month. It's wild to imagine one next to the other. And that's not really even counting what's beyond the town walls. The orchards and scraggly-looking farmland are only a memory. Now a barren landscape stretches out, broken by the trenches that cut through the soil like deep scars. Um, the foundry is still cold and unresponsive, as it's one of the only places that the clan here and lizard folk can use for proper shelter. Uh, Lord Gisbel and his aide, Quelmer, are sitting down looking utterly exhausted as you guys have breakfast. Um, Even Lord Olenquai looks pretty tired after pitching in. Lord Gisbel is going over the situation with Quelmer, who is taking notes. He's saying, it, even with Fabricate, Stonewall, and Mold Earth, we just don't have the manpower to finish repairs in less than a decade at best. Um, Quelmer nods and notes, shame about Talene. Her move Earth spell would have been invaluable. To get another caster with it, we'd have to reach out to Earnix or one of Piva's um, focused casters, but High Lady Earnix is about as likely to grant us a favor as she is donating her clan's treasury to the temple. Lord Gisbel just kind of nods and rubs his face for a moment, just completely looking like the overwhelmed teen that he is. And we need to repair the forge mark on top of everything else. I think the contract is going to have to do more than just defend our supply us after all. Um, and
quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had an NPC at some point that was casting Sending. Was that Lady Wayrub?
It's not Lady Wayrub. That is that's your
It's
captain. That's
okay.
Yeah. That's she's capable of third level spells. One of the two
Yeah,
she has is sending.
I couldn't
So,
remember which direction the communications were going. Never
yeah,
mind then.
she was the way they had it is they told her use sending to contact us or
Hmm.
whoever's on the road at X 0800 hours every day or something, that type of thing. Um, Yeah, that's Lady Wayrub is not a caster. She's very learned, but she's not specialized in that.
So, Purser does have an idea of some people that could be very willing to come and help, and also maybe learn some things.
Okay.
House Caneth.
Yeah, Kenneth could definitely do so. It would be pretty dangerous to get them out here, but they would they jump at the opportunity, that's for sure. It would still take a lot of time to get it all set up because there's the month delay before getting them through the portal, and but yeah,
Right.
Candace would Candace would need to change their pants once they saw this place.
Yeah,
Um,
Purser's just trying to think of things, this is what the people of Corvair can do for you. Like, this is why we need to be your friends.
yeah, I mean, you guys, like, they absolutely know they owe their continued existence to you guys. They're
Well, to us
yeah.
personally, but I'm trying
Oh
to
yeah,
get
yeah, I get you.
Mishann in good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. In a feudal society, personal obligations tend to trump like societal ones, but or nation ones, I guess would be a better way to put it. But yeah, like when he sees you guys as his aide puts down like a plate of food in front of him, and sorry, I didn't really see you all there. Good morning, I suppose. We're trying to figure out things, and like he stops with kind of a yelp and a pained expression as Quelmore possibly cuts him off and says, "Please, honored allies, sit yourself wherever is comfortable." Gesturing around the table. His manners are not very good.
Purser just looks up from his plate of spicy cornbread.
Yeah, like it. Well, I mean, you guys definitely were. I feel like you guys were kind of in the equivalent of the mess for it. Like that's where they're serving it all up.
Mm.
But when you came up with plates, like they immediately clear space at the table for you guys to all sit down if you care to do so.
Well, yeah,
Because
Purser was totally
yeah,
eating on the way to the table.
yeah, oh, absolutely,
It's
yeah, that's fair.
a cookie monstering the cornbread.
Not like Bemmy, who's the picture of high class, I imagine, when he eats. What's the super long fork for, Bemmy?
Look, you don't need
I,
to.
I think it's to scratch your ass with. Yeah.
I was about to say, that's a back scratcher. What's the spoon for? I don't know. I eat soup with my hands.
uh, but yeah, if you guys sit down, Gizbo kind of like rubbing his shin where she probably kicked him says, I was, you probably heard, I was thinking about using the contract to have Lady Ash help rebuild here, Gizbokul. I don't know how else we're going to be able to focus on repairing our farmland otherwise. We've never had the best territory for that, you see. Too rocky for much.
Hmm. So, just always in the awkward position of not being able to actually talk to anyone.
Pick
That's
will
true.
happily translate. If she ever sees, like, I'm sure by this point they have been together long enough that he can make a hand gesture at Pick while she is stuffing her little face with as much fruit as she physically can, and she doesn't need her mouth to translate. So he can just be
Yeah.
like, he just makes a gesture at her, and she's like, eh, and then just
Well,
looks up and happily chews while translating, or gets her, and she is genuinely usually just wrapping her little rocks, stuffing her little face with fruit. She is happy to be of service. As far as she's concerned, that's what she's there for too.
so yeah, Purser just doesn't like to impose, so he'll have something important to say and just be awkward because he just
By the way, after that
doesn't
time
know how to
skip, you're learning fucking Elvish. I don't care. Like, oh
No.
no, my downtime activity, it would take the full year. Like, no, you Purser will pick up Elvish in a fucking year downtime.
I mean, if he was ever like, the problem is I don't think Pick could ever socially realize it. But if anybody pointed it out to her, she would just go flick him in the face and be like, "Don't be dumb. I am here for this. I help. Not problem. This job. I help."
But yeah, I'll say it. It's certainly within your prerogative to use this contract, but we can also connect you with some allies of our own that will have materials and expertise to help.
Yeah, he's very interested in that, and we'll ask you a lot of like, I'm not gonna make you RP
Yeah.
Specs of Kenneth pricing tiers. But
hmm
yeah,
Yeah, I'll
he's
go over
very
with him,
interested.
what he
Yeah.
could expect to have to pay, and you know, like it, it's ultimately going to be up to them whether they accept it. But
He really
just getting
likes
them
the
in touch with the people.
Yeah, like he wants you to put him in touch regardless. The issue is it's one of those things where it's going to take at least a year to repair the town. In the
hmm
interim, they need the shelter they can't have if they're using
Right.
the foundry and workshop, and they need those to make enough money to like buy food or help from other people. So he's kind of in a
hmm
really bad place for that. The
Yeah, there's
things
Also,
he
no
would
one
do to make
easy
money aren't available.
answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, went like inviting fucking the house very quickly, like knowing these guys is like, how most Dragon Mark houses operate. Very quickly become like, we're here to save you. 2 months later, they literally evict all the drow and just take over the fucking foundry for themselves. Like,
I mean, at the
that's
end of the day, it is far away.
Yeah,
Like,
they're definitely not above it. Like none of the houses are
hmm
above that. Maybe what is it, Medeni? That's it's like
the
the
Madani.
only Madani. Yeah, like that's the only dragon marked house I would say leans more towards genuine good alignment. The rest of them
hmm
are megacorps, and megacorps are inherently amoral. Like
Yeah.
they
But that
um
being said, like, there's a lot of room for like long-term relationships, so they're not going to ruin that by just taking everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. And they would do the job they're paid to. Like
hmm
they built the palace for the freaking goblins. Like whoever has the money, they don't care. But the money is the issue here, where it's like, um, but he does ask. He tries to be sly about it, but it's really blatant. He does ask if like knowledge of manifest anchors would be enough to buy favor with Cannith, like with this big apparently special things. Um, because his people they can't make them, he does explain, but they've learned enough in the like 30,000 years that they've been a civilization. They have an idea of how to you know, keep manifest anchors working. The forge mark they have here is it's an artificial manifest zone. It got
Hmm.
hit with one of the shells, so it's not working right now. But they do know how to at least repair them.
So Purser has like a moment of dumbfounded silence, and he, yes, I think they would be very much interested in that.
Yeah. Yeah, he would definitely ask you to put him in touch, but he feels like if they need real payment, he just doesn't have it. Like the
hmm
clan is destitute. They're war torn. Um,
Yeah, I think Kenneth would be happy to do it for knowledge, but it's nothing to help in the like immediate "our people are starving" issue, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, they're not quite to like flat out starving yet, but they're maybe a week or two away from
hmm
from food supplies just going dry. Now, they can actually send trade caravans to like friendly territory, Lemquick and Irnix, but they have to go off road to do it now. So, because they have hostile forces in around Eberron, and they have it. Peckway is a little pissed with them right now since they kind of broke away from them. So, but yeah, they're definitely going to try and get some food. But does
hmm
anybody else have anything they want to speak with the young, awkward clan head?
Ludger, upon hearing like Manifest Zone, thinks he like remembers that being like casually referred to like the uh Soldier's Rest, the font of magic there, but and asks if they know anything about that.
Um, he doesn't, but when they bring out records of the various like points around the island, because this clan is there are engineers in other clans, just like there's, casters in other clans. Nobody has a monopoly, but they're the ones everybody calls for high level stuff if they can. and they do have a record of, they didn't do much with it, but of a local, uh, let's see here, it would be called a, I don't have the name in front of me, but yeah, an artificial manifest zone to um, the plane of life and healing, which kind of empowered the temple there. And yeah, he'd be happy to, like, they owe you guys enough that they, if you ask for somebody to take a look at that, they'll send someone with you. Like, one person isn't going to make a big difference in repairing this anyways. So if you ask for help to take a look at it, you know, tap the sides, ask if you've turned it off and on again, that type of thing, they're happy to do so. Um, let's see, here it is. It is a Sunspire. That's the name of the manifest anchor that they that is tied to that plane. So, but yeah, if you guys are interested, they would be happy to send an artificer with you and have them take a look at it. He would say one of the one of the key things you need in keeping those going, and they do burn through it, is you need material tied to the actual plane, one way or another. So like the forge mark that they have here, they regularly have to get material from or tied to the plane of fire in order to make it work, in addition to all the other stuff. But and that's kind of the equivalent of fuel. Apparently, it runs out every couple centuries. But or maybe it just loses its connection to that plane. Who knows? They still haven't actually gotten how to make them, because apparently that involves some casting that giants were pretty uniquely suited to do. Um, Dragons could as well theoretically, but nobody's asking dragons for anything here if they have any brains. Um, um, but yeah, he'll look around and he will say, I just wanted to check with all of you first. You were the ones who traveled all the way to Kolcusp and retrieved the contract. It wouldn't feel right to not ask you about it before I used it like this.
That's the birthright of your people.
I would definitely appreciate the help of an artificer, though, in checking this out and, you know, maybe, helping improve it or repairing it or something. So we could
Sure.
help help more people from my country.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Um, uh, Balthazar and Bemi, any take on that, or is it just too busy eating?
I mean, this cornbread's pretty good, but
Fair enough. Balthazar? Mr. Sam? You with us, bud? He might be our bead. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll go with you know what? Let me PM with him just in case he's talking and doesn't realize he's muted. Uh, where is he here? Big boss. There we go. There we go. But yeah, in that case, he will begin, like, the moment you guys are okay with that. He's gonna start, pull out a big thing of uh, it wouldn't be blueprint paper, but it would be fine paper. He's gonna pull out that large thing of paper, cover most of the table once everybody's done eating, and begin sketching out the entire town as it is, and then like basically do another one on what he envisions it to be like after the repairs. It's mostly the same as it was, but with an entire quarter added to for the newly freed lizard folk. Um, while the sketch isn't artistically pleasant, like it's not nice to look at, it is perfectly set to scale with precise measurements whenever needed. With him, like he has the equivalent of a little ruler but that's all he uses. Like everything else, he's just doing in his head. But yeah, when he's done, he um, like leans back and looks over at Ludger's Kenneth Thunderbolt and says, "Oh, that's a different design than any of the Gizbul Mayapalams. Would you mind if I studied it for a bit? I need something to calm my nerves."
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah. I don't see any. We're going to be here a minute anyway, so I let him know that I will need it back before I leave. But other than that, besides that, I give him the crossbow.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to take him a bit to figure the general layout because it's just different than their crossbows, which they call Mayup Alams. But he is delighted by the Kenneth Heavy crossbow, quickly figuring out how to take the entire thing apart, which is probably a little unsettling to watch.
Mm.
He begins adding pieces from his workshop, and a few hours later, he hands the slightly bulkier weapon back to you, reassembled and gleaming. As you heft it, you're surprised to find that, in spite of its increased size, it weighs much less. You notice the Drow Artificer has replaced several parts with fire bronze substitutes, and there are unfamiliar blocky runes added at various points. That's quite the ingenious design. It reminds me of our own Burning Rain artillery, using a bound magnetic elemental to propel the bolt forward, with even the same arcane formulas. Did you make this after seeing things left by the Honored Ancients? It's almost identical.
I give a small chuckle, and explain that you know, some artificers I know back in Corvair produced this.
Oh, it's almost identical. It's amazing. They must have had same inspiration. That must be it. Um,
Yeah.
but
Ludger says something about crabs.
crabs.
Yeah. Everything eventually becomes crabs.
Oh yeah. I mean that's fair. That could be the case. I don't know if Luger would know the origin of elemental binding on Corvair. Um, uh,
I'm pretty sure he doesn't, but I like to think he somehow knows about crabs.
yeah, absolutely. Out of character, the reason it's almost identical is the uh the gnomes of Zilargo, who were the first ones to like bring that tech to Corvair, looted the shit out of giant ruins on Zendrick and started duplicating it.
God damn.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
they have their own innovations, but yeah.
yeah, it's different, but like the reason it looks like it started from the same point is, yeah. Um, but he says, yeah. Well, regardless, the fact that it's so similar to our own equipment means it was fairly simple for me to improve. No offense, but whoever worked on this really should have used proper stabilizing runes. They're bigger than the formulas you were using, but they ensure the entire piece is held together properly no matter the backlash from shots. And he would continue on this vein for, I mean, how long are you willing to listen?
I don't know. Percy's
As
happy to
long as it's
discuss it.
necessary. As long as it's necessary, because he did just improve my crossbow for free. So
He would legit go on for about 3 hours, after which he seems to like come back to himself, gets embarrassed, and mumbles something about making sure to use it with spell bolts. He has Quelmar hand you 10 uncommon spell bolts, um, before going to get some rest because he's been up all night. Or yeah, yeah. Your Kenneth
And then
Thunderbolt is
indulged.
yeah, your Kenneth Thunderbolt is now a +2 instead of a +1.
Ooh,
nice.
And you have 10 uncommon spell bolts, which are fun little things to play around with at some point. Basically, you can have someone cast a spell into the crossbow bolt and fire it and trigger, some kind of effect.
good times.
Good times.
Question. You said it's lighter.
Yeah, it's a little lighter. Yeah, you could half the weight because it's now effectively like made of mithril, or the equivalent of.
Not that weight matters in this game, but
I
yeah,
mean, it's good to know. Yeah, it weighs half. It's a +2 instead of a +1, and you have 10 uncommon spell bolts.
nice.
And yeah, do you guys linger around to see him summon Lady Naja Ash again, or are you like gonna head on out after the end of the day?
I I think we're fine to head out. I mean, ultimately, it's between them and the DAOs, so
Yeah, no, fair enough. I just wanted to know. Yeah, then in that case, do you guys want the artificer to come with you now, or do you want like they'll send him when you basically call, via
yeah.
sending or something?
When they have the immediate concerns met, I think they need all hands on deck right now.
Yeah, it kind of, if this whole like using the equivalent of a lot of charge from that contract works out, then they won't be in anywhere near as like terrible a position. They can get the forge going, that type of thing. Um, but yeah, that's fair. Um, so yeah, if you want to head to Peckway Cull, um, you guys have 20 Olinquai clan warriors with you. Seems like they lost about 8 guys, not including the clan head, who looks tired but happy. He he seems more alive than when you first saw him. He looked he just kind of had a simultaneously tired and bored look to him. This is And he just flat out say, like, while he's traveling with you guys, this is his entire clan have always specialized more than any other in direct combat. And there hasn't been direct combat in large numbers amongst his people for a very long time. Um, they've been isolated. There's been raids on lizard folk and the southern tribes, but nothing big. Not fighting anyone who can really fight back. So, not in numbers. So he seems more alive about all this. I don't know if that improves or worsens your opinion of the man, but he just seems happy to be doing this stuff. Um, and yeah, they travel with you. Um, do you want them to head to Alra on their own to wait for the Riptide, or do you want to travel with them? Traveling with 21 warriors would probably be like a bit of an easier trip, I will say.
I suppose so. I mean, if we're all going to the same place at the same time, they might as well come with us.
Yeah, they're tagging along.
Yeah.
You had an invite to stop by Peckway Cull on your way to Alara, the ruin. So
Oh yeah.
you don't have to. But the the clan head seemed to think you guys might want to talk with her. She spoke
That's a
of
fair
an
point, though.
alliance.
We can send them on independently then and head to Peckway.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, if you split up, you're it's about 32 miles, 1.5 days standard travel time. Um, and it takes about 3 hours to leave Gizbal territory. And for once, the clan boundaries are pretty clear. The extended siege gave the invaders ample time to strip clean farms and the occasional small fortified hamlet. Kuwait's territory is largely untouched, although there's clear evidence that they've been feeling the strain as well. Hastily fortified homes near the Gizbal border, and the occasional checkpoint that's probably meant more as an early warning system against slave uprisings than like an actual. Then they like it's not going to stop anything, and they're well aware, but it's a warning system. But yeah, as everywhere else on the islands, lots of abandoned homes from where the plague took its toll. The farms you do see are growing the only crops that do well in this hot, rocky, and barren landscape: crackle corn, rattle beans, giant chard, prickly pear cactus, and small orchards of giant pomegranates. You see herds of aurochs, sulvi, and even some diamondbacks, which are impressive to look at, if not to be, you don't want to be too near the things. Diamondbacks are basically stegosauruses with their plates and spikes are made of diamond. Uh, they're a mage-bred thing from back in giant days to meet the spell focus needs of various giant realms. But
Mm.
yeah, above all else, you see signs of real industry here. Mining. In the 32 miles to Pequay Coal, you pass by 3 smaller mines, an open-air quarry, and one mine that's large enough to have its own settlement around it, mainly to support the slaves and guards that, protect it, we'll say. Um, while you're not looked on with much welcome as you travel, there isn't any open hostility other than the occasional farmer who clearly either blames you for the conflict with Gizbol or just doesn't, we don't need no foreigners here type thing. We don't like your kind around these parts.
Mhm.
Yeah, West Virginian minor type thing. But the clan hold as you guys approach it looks actually a little underwhelming at first. More like a series of heavily fortified warehouses behind walls and watchtowers. But it becomes clear as you pass through the first gate that the majority of the settlement was built down into the mountain rather than ground level. Stairwells leading down pepper the streets, and the entire place has more of a vertical layout than any other, besides, Irnik Clan's colossal tower, but that's a tower. Um, Everything's built with huge blocks of black volcanic rock or fire bronze, giving it all a surprisingly gothic look. Gothic meets brutalist architecture. Uh, this is a place. The buildings that the occasional tower looks like a mailed fist kind of pointing up. The personal estate of the ruling Pequay family looks more like a palace than a mansion, with sharply pointed tips on the black towers. Unlike many of the previous clan holds, Pequay Coal is new, with nothing built to a giant scale. Um, Everything here was built by the Suiltar, not around any ruins. And yeah, nobody has stopped you once you identified yourself. You were allowed to go through, although the occasional clan warriors are giving you the fisheye, but nobody's flat out stopping you. Do you guys want to head into this incredibly ominous-looking tower? Well, not tower, palace type thing.
Mm.
I feel like Pick has just landed on Purser's shoulders and is like he is the decision maker now, and she just is very light and just keeps her like feet resting there and just gently rests her hands on his head. Like this is he's driving where we're going right now. I'm not making this choice.
I
That's
mean, I
fair.
kind of want to go inside. I'm just curious.
We can't exactly turn around.
This is also true.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah, then looking at it, as you guys basically ask to, see the clan head, um, the there's you're asked to wait for a bit, and the equivalent of a butler or something like it is happy to give you guys little tidbits about the place. He seems quite proud of it and talks about how the entire settlement started as a mine. Pequay built right over top the first major mine, and um, has just expanded as each vein went dry. Um, and Yeah, like while you're kind of sitting around waiting, the interior of the estate is more of the same. Uh, you notice as you're led through the building after your wait and down that almost all of the hallways are designed with defense in mind. It reminds you of more of a fort than an actual home. This would be horrible to have to storm. But finally, you get to a dining room with a long, glassy wooden table and high back chairs. You see High Lady Pequay already waiting at the head of the table, reading through a scroll. She glances at you and says, "Sit down. Everyone here has things they'd rather be doing."
Yeah, I'll take a seat.
I see.
Do you just sit on Purser's head?
I think that she remains standing on his shoulders until she looks around to see if there is a suitable sized seat for her.
There aren't like no, these are the deliberately like tall,
Yep.
imposing chairs.
Yep.
Pick,
So
pick.
I'm assuming she can like put her feet on or like keep her feet on his shoulders and then just sit on the back of his chair. Like this is good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
I'm fine with that. It
She
makes
has
them
not started.
underestimate my negotiating whenever they look at me and see you just sitting up there being pick.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
focused.
and she has not started with like the typical line of formalities that you've gotten every time you've met a clan head. So, you know, that's either good or bad. Um, and Bemi, Ludger, and Balthazar, do you guys take a seat?
I do take a seat.
Okay.
Yeah, I take a seat.
How long have we been walking for?
Uh, Honestly, probably about 5 minutes. Like there's the hallways constantly switch back. Like you feel you're good enough at tracking that you're confident you could get back, but you'd have to rack your brains for it. This is a disorienting place.
All right, let's take a seat.
And all that, and like they only have carpet here and there. It's all just stone floors. It's awful. Um,
Well, it
but
won't be lit on fire anytime soon.
it won't. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, let's see here.
They hit the
Yeah,
Doctor
once
Evil switch, and we immediately all get sent into incinerators.
they try to send Cursor in, he doesn't burn. Yeah. Um, but yeah, once everybody's seated, she does have drinks brought out. The usual watered wine, tea, or just you know, chilled fruit juice are the options. It seems that even someone as impatient, or some might say rude, as Lady Peckway, isn't willing to ignore etiquette to that extent. Like, if you don't serve anything when somebody sits down, that's a terrible sign for negotiations.
Hmm.
But yeah, you guys, it's up to you if you want to drink them or whatnot. Once
Yeah.
drinks are served, Clanhead puts aside whatever she'd been reading before she leans forward, um, looking at each one of you intently before starting out. She says, "As mentioned before, we would be willing to switch allegiance if you can meet our demands."
So Percy will like steeple his fingers, and I assume there's like a table. Like I can do the
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's
Okay.
very like long glossy polished wood table.
Oh, fancy. Yeah, I'll like put my elbows up it and steeple my fingers and say, uh, hmm. hmm, duh. I lost my train of thought there. I'll say, go ahead. We're listening.
First, you're to keep your spoon in your own bowl. Um, Probably had a little bit of confusion there. She clarifies,
Pick chuckles.
yeah,
I think that's understandable from context at least,
yeah,
but for those of us who don't understand.
yeah. Keep from stealing or sabotaging Peckway interests. You showed a surprising amount of cunning in your raid and theft of livestock, especially since you avoided turning animals loose. I'm assuming that means you're civilized enough to discuss all of this with in the first place. Incidentally, it also means a lighter touch would be needed for the required retaliation, even if negotiations fell through. As long as I lead Peckway, we will always have an equal response to friendly or hostile actions. Second, what information I've been able to gather has painted you as a fragment of a much larger people. It's as if we attempted to build a port on one of the outer islands. I assume you have access to markets, materials, and perhaps even methods of extraction that we don't hear. I want unrestricted access to those things. You may end up offering what Verwick promised but failed to deliver, a chance to expand Peckway holdings and interests.
Mm.
Third, an official end to the Gizbo clan opening any portals or direct connections with Kyber. I needed an assurance that that little madman you put in charge of the clan won't resume constructions of a so-called mine. Before you
Was that-
answer, keep in mind that I didn't come to the table without valuable information myself. You may have had the Gizbo clan and several others as allies, but Pekway is the main source of raw materials like stone, metal, obsidian, and dragon shards across the Capirian Islands. If you intend to build anything of scale here, you need us. Also, in a more immediate sense, I have knowledge that will be valuable to your alliance. High Lord Nuxavaro did not share all of his plans with his allies, but I know enough to mention it at this table. And yeah, she leans back, having delivered her, demands.
We might have room for an embassy person.
We'd certainly have space for such, and access to the markets is easily doable, whether a port of your own or through Mishann itself. And as to the third demand, even if we don't come to an agreement today, I can assure you that we will do everything in our power to prevent the damage such an act of digging into Kyber could cause.
Yeah, she nods approvingly at that.
Yeah. Ludger would like to discuss things with a party that, like, obviously we would not want to do right in front of, like, her.
Yeah, she wouldn't be offended at that at all. She would just grab her book, one of her assistants, and go outside the room, closing the doors behind her, to presumably do some of her own work. And whenever you guys are ready to call her back.
Okay, Ludger basically takes biggest issue with the idea of expansion. Basically, you know, as per her demands for this alliance, it is very much clear that she wants to effectively use our technology to continue expanding her mines across the entire island, and with it, fucking her chattel slavery. Ludger pretty much, he doesn't like demand it, but Ludger does point out that our previous plans was to encourage the end of slavery within the Solitar clans by making economically unviable. If we give her what she wants, she could very easily basically not, expand slavery across the entire fucking island. And we would be helping enabling it by giving her modern technology. So that's one of those things where Ludger would, you know, basically want to, he's willing to compromise by saying that he's willing to let them open mines outside of their existing territory, but any such mines must use free labor if they are not located in previously identified Sulitar territory.
Okay. Well, and
And
another thing to keep in
if they
mind
do,
is,
if
yeah, this was her like opening salvo. She basically laid out a
Mhm.
list of what she wants. She probably
Yeah.
doesn't expect you guys to just agree, but
Yeah,
like,
there's space for haggling.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like
If she
basically
doesn't, she's
any,
making a very bad decision.
she can, I would be more than happy to, give her modern equipment in mines operated with free labor. If anything, a jingly keys for, hey, see how like profitable this mine is when you're not using chattel slavery. Maybe you should think about closing your old mines. Ending that shit there. Uh, like,
They would love the idea of the Warforged. Like the moment they find out about Warforged slavery, they'd love that.
yeah.
All
When
that
that
being
happens,
said,
the
ahead.
time Balthazar becomes a rebel to them.
You were saying, Bruiser?
Did I cut someone off again?
No.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
So, This is the first of the drow leaders that we've met that have been both reasonable and immediately understanding the implications of our being here.
She's not. Yeah, she's definitely not dumb. Like that's
Yeah,
she's colder than a snake probably, but she seems to pick up on a lot.
but
If may I personally, in my mind, speak to my best buddy and see what his opinion is on this bitch.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That I hadn't thought of that. Okay.
in,
Yeah, if like while they're discussing, your eyes like roll up into your head and you talk with
Yeah,
your
I'll say oh give me a minute. So I'll say to give me a minute to everyone, and he just kind of goes into like a trance and then starts speaking to. Or tons of fun.
yeah.
oh, I'd completely forgotten about that.
You've been dragging around a captured soul.
I've
Yeah.
been letting him watch us, so he saw our journey to the giant island.
Yeah. Yeah. You I would say you'd regularly yeah, very much so. I'd say you regularly get like his personal input. It's usually pretty unpleasant, but he does regularly chime in. He is not a good influence, we'll say. Like
Oh, I'm sure,
whether you listen to
but
him or not, he tends to listen to or he tends to advise some rough things.
and
But
I will,
yeah,
and here's when I'll start to enable him a little bit. Like, what dirt do you have on Lady Peckway? Come on, give me. I know you got something on her.
Right, we
um,
don't need dirt. We already know she's a horrible human being.
Yeah, but if I
Like,
know something that I should not have known, that would be alarming.
actually, she's not a human being, so that doesn't the expression
She's gonna
isn't
be a dead
valid at
being if she
all.
continues.
Uh, Sorry, I had to. Um, anyways, yeah, if you ask him, let's see, what would he know about her? What would be his gossip? He, first of all, he would not like her, even amongst his usual like private sneering about different like clan heads.
He doesn't
He
like anyone, but
really,
he really doesn't like her.
he really doesn't like her because her clan and specifically her, she was the only one who would regularly haggle his clan down to like genuinely fair contracts. Um, he also warns that she loves written contracts, and they're usually really fucking shady. Like
Is,
always
is
read
there
through them.
is there a funny guy with reddish skin that watches over us when we sign it?
There isn't. She just seems to have a propensity for it. At least not that he's aware of. As far as he knows, there isn't any fiendish influence in the woman. She's just, you know, very. You don't know
Just a
if,
butthole.
yeah, you don't know if she personally writes them, but those contracts are hard to pick everything out of.
If someone slapped that in front of you, you think a devil wrote it.
Yeah,
What's
it
this?
legally.
she,
Yeah.
she was the one that wrote the Disney Plus contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Exactly.
Exactly.
being said, I was about to say we're all, most of us are Corvaran and used to, legalism. So,
Yeah, it's kind of what's one more thing that makes her stand out here is usually clan deals are like handshake favors and like, your nephew is going to marry my great niece type thing.
mhm.
Um, much more
I mean,
properly feudal. She runs it more like a business.
honestly, this is the kind of person that Purser was like hoping to meet among the Sultar. Someone who can play the Corvaran game.
Ah,
Because
future
that's the
love
kind of
interest.
people that, well, no,
Sorry. Sorry. I
it's
had to.
realpolitik, first off,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but um, someone that can play the game at, like, even if not as like saying it at the same level is derogatory at the best of times, but like
In the
the
same
rest
league.
of
I
these
get you.
drow are like fighting amongst themselves and playing by their rules. Someone that can at least look at our rules and understand like how that can profit her, I think is the kind of person we need on our side.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean Balthazar would kind of know that, but he was the third wheel, so he knows that's how shit went down. He doesn't know how it went down exactly. So
Yeah, yeah, that's fair too.
Again, Ludger's primary concern is he is very much I don't know, the equivalent of like a pre-Civil War moderate Republican of, we need to the way we kill slavery is by refusing to let it expand.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
and as a result, is effectively like any contract we make with her to mine outside of the island. Again, Ludger is hoping that by basically having them open a mine with free labor, that effectively, like,
The company
inevitably
towns
becomes
are way
more
more
profitable.
profitable. Yeah. If we just
Eh,
throw her onto the clue of company town might. Boy,
It's
that
not
I'm
she doesn't take to
slavery,
that.
not
huh?
sure. Not sure if Ludger wants to go that far, but along the lines
Uh,
of, you know, effectively trying to, as stated, his whole plan up to now has been making it economically unviable as industrialization happens.
yeah, I get you.
Uh,
Do
I
it
get you.
before Balthazar becomes John Brown.
yeah, and
I mean, hey,
so
and you've got the voices in your head. You're halfway there.
yeah, that
Okay.
locking it
I'll,
in, and again, they have to agree with, like, the free soil movement of
Your new
Mishann, which
minds
is I don't
can't
care.
have slaves. Yeah.
Not only that, but basically, I don't give a shit if, we're not going to go into your territory, but you are not going to come into our territory if your livestock, shall we say, gets lost and ends up in Mishann. Tough
Hmm.
shit. You're not
Yeah.
sending your slave catchers into Mishann.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Okay.
or
Okay.
they come back with their
So
heads missing.
yeah. So with that in mind, is there anything Pick or Bemi wants to add to this? Any stuff you guys are concerned about, or just want to chew the fat on, so to
Yeah,
speak?
we need to get the native representation in here before the Europeans decide everything.
It's already too late for us. We already know.
Sure,
and
sure thing. The nearest
New
living
Berlin
folk
Congress,
is locked
baby.
away.
Scramble for Africa.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
I
like
mean, I know a lady who's way tougher than this.
that's true.
Yeah, Empress Maximilian?
Yeah. Old Mima.
Mima.
Yeah.
Mima Maximilian?
Be like, all right, well, you have to negotiate with our contract negotiator, but Mima wouldn't do it in best interests because it'd be like, well, we want these things. I mean, she might do it just because the only reason we'd get Mima to negotiate probably the scariest contract ever, and this bitch would hate us for eternity, is if Mima thought that it would get under her skin to do exactly what we wanted, which was the good thing. That's the only way Mima would work and like help us on that one.
And
I will
Lord
say,
Biapo, if I basically make a mental agreement with Lord Biapo to fuck with this chick's life, I'm pretty sure he will give me everything he knows.
I mean, he kind of, yeah, he could give more Sora details if you want that, but he already gave you his take on her, the bird's eye view. He could give you more details, like, you know, uh, she's she's dull would be his take as far as personal stuff. She doesn't indulge properly like a noble. Um, she'd like, of course, his definition of that is pretty horrific, so take from that what you will. Um, but
She doesn't. She doesn't drink 8 6-packs. She only has like 2 beers. It's fucking terrible.
yeah,
I
it's
can't.
That's
for
the
him.
vibe I'm
Damn.
getting. Like
For
I
that's
him, it's
can't. I can't do the mafia tactic then. Damn it.
for him, it's
Yeah.
more along the lines of like, she doesn't call up twins to her bedroom, and even when she does, they leave alive. Like, yeah, he was fucking vile. So yeah, that's like he's very much. I
I'm
mean,
so
it wasn't
glad
a
you
direct
torture this guy.
it wasn't a direct inspiration, but he is very much Harkonnen. So, um, but yeah, so Bemi, do you want to ask Mima to help out with a contract or write one up? You could. Could give her
that's
a ring-a-ling if you wanted.
Balthazar's not
that's
a holy person, but
that's
he's gonna do a quick prayer before you do that.
this is the thing. I
Purser
was like,
is a very holy person, and he's gonna just rapidly like shake his head.
I just if anybody knows if there's anybody that we should look out for, she would know. How dangerous is this person? Do you know how dangerous is this is this person? We're gonna write up a contract with.
She's not more dangerous than
Uh,
Mima.
okay, we already are going to have to read the lines of one sentence fucking contract to deal with whatever bullshit she's going to put in. I don't want to have to do that twice for the shit that Mima is going to fucking put in. Like,
I love how I bring up meme on it just escalates entirely.
The only
Yeah.
thing I said, well, I know someone meaner than this lady. That
Yeah,
was it.
that's true.
That's all that I said.
Yeah, Mima's stipulation is like involves you will be required to cry yourself to sleep every night, and if you can't, we have
No.
ways.
We'll
That type of
send
thing.
Bemmy to make sure it happens.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
Mima told me to come here to take the skin from your face.
Hey,
It's
Don't worry,
nothing
it grows.
personal.
It grows back. She gave me a special knife. I've done this. Yeah, but
Sometimes
um,
I like to sing. It drowns out your screams. Oh, sole
So-
mio.
So,
Uh,
so anyway, ultimately, what I think she's really bargaining for is access to those Corvarin markets. Like, if we get Pekway on like the Sharn market, that is the biggest win they've had in 5,000 years.
yeah, that'd be a game changer for him.
So I think that's like the real angle that she's going for.
Yeah,
Slavery is our big point of contention.
Okay.
But
So far it sounds like just so when she comes back, her first demand, which is, keep out of our affairs type thing. Um, Meaning like no more raids, no more deliberately fucking with us and our customs, blah blah blah. Your counter to that is fine, but you have to do the same. No sending slave catchers or perpetuating it in our direction type of thing. Am I correct in that?
that's very reasonable.
basically,
Yep. Or
uh,
Balthazar creates the jungle fighters.
Gotcha. Okay.
Look,
And
we
so
don't have to imply the threats right now. That's for later when
No,
the rules
that's
are
for them to
broken.
find out the fun way.
yeah, exactly. So her second demand was, um, she wants access to it and a chance to expand. Yours is, you know, you're willing to provide access to bigger markets, but expanding is all mines have to be free labor. Um, am I correct in that?
I have two subsets of that. The first
Okay.
is any and all equipment uh, can only go to mines that are located in non-free territory, but she is allowed to keep slavery as is within her or other Solitar territory that still permits slavery, or unrestricted access in exchange for a legally enforceable manumission program over a set amount of time.
Okay. Okay.
Ideally, probably something like 10 or 20 years.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
think the vibe we can go for is, look, we don't like slavery, but we're not going to tell you you can't do a slavery.
Hmm.
But we are going to ask that don't put slaves in these mines.
Yeah,
That
any expansion is not allowed to have that. Okay, okay.
mhm.
And the third one where she says like she can't tell him directly anymore because you helped him like get out from under her thumb, but it was make sure Gizbul doesn't dig into hell. Um, that was
Yeah.
her request.
Well, she's welcome to dig into hell on her own land.
So here's the
Well-
kicker: she has a mine that goes into hell on her own land.
The implication I got last
Dig
time though
deeper
was
anyway.
that theirs were naturally occurring, or at least mostly
Yes.
natural, and
Yep,
they
yep.
were just digging straight down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like they when they were doing the mines, they found a portal into I think it's the Ironlands, which is where they've
Okay.
been pulling a lot of stuff from. Gizbul said, "We can do that," and just started doing a fucking open air pit. And like that was part of what triggered the issue.
But yeah,
Ludger,
pursers. Oh,
yeah, Ludger's not going to bring it up as part of these negotiations because it isn't really relevant. But Ludger's intentional plan to get uh, it's Gizbel, right? The artificer
Gizbel
one.
is
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, Gizbel basically let it go. You are going to stop at in exchange. We are going to literally like do the equivalent of encouraging like Chinese scrap steel being imported directly to your manufacturers. So you don't need Peckway. You can import, you know, fucking metal that way as much as
Okay.
do with our technology. That
Okay.
way,
Fair enough. Yeah, now I will say like that mine, quote unquote, that they were trying to dig. You guys have enough sway with Gizbel that like you say stop that, they're not gonna say boo about it. They that was kind of a project that
I
the young lord got going on. He's not gonna say no.
I I figured that, but again, this isn't just a we need to convince them. It's also a, this is another way that we can deliberately fuck with the Peckway clan backdoor is by, oh no, your main manufacturer that needed your steel is getting a lot of material from overseas cheaper. Oh no, the horror.
Yeah. It's them Chinese metal. And Dan, what were you saying?
My main point was that Purser was already going to be 100% on board with controlling and stopping that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
It's a
on
bad
my
idea.
watch.
It's a terrible idea. Like in
Mhm.
and out of character, that's an awful plan.
There
You don't.
are ways that you could do it safely, but it's not worth the risk. Not with
Yeah,
like a
like
team of arcanists to figure out how to do it. Like if
yeah,
it was the 12 doing it, I would trust it more.
yeah,
Uh,
but
the,
there even with
the,
that, the what's it?
the, the
The
the only way that Peckway get away with it is the fact that Peckway literally gives no fucks about going, oh no, okay, seal off like that floor and want what? The floor above it, just in case. As
yeah.
for the workers, fuck them.
Yeah,
Like
they've done
that's
that.
the only reason they've been able to get away with it, from what I've
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah, they've sealed up some mines before. They don't have any issue doing that. But yeah. So okay. So it sounds like those are your reactions to her terms. Um, and yeah, she comes back in, and with a scribe next to her, and says, I'm not gonna make you restate it, but if
Mhm.
you guys give her those terms, um, she will be leery about not using slavery in the expanded stuff. Uh, but let's see. She would say, yeah, you know what? She'd say she's willing to agree to that on the islands. She's if something happens on the mainland of Zendrick or otherwise, she's willing to negotiate about that. But she's willing to say, no, any new mines open on the island, they will use free labor. As long as she will also mention that if you guys have laborers for free labor stuff, they'd be happy to take them because they're in a bit of a crunch for people.
People, yeah.
I'm sure you are.
Well, everyone is. That's the whole
Out of
point, like the
character,
plague
the
thing.
comical part of like getting a bunch of super organized union miners, and then, oh, here's your miners.
Yeah. Yeah, yes.
Well,
And her yeah, yeah.
the problem with Corvaran labor unions isn't that they're like liberal workers' rights type people. They're I don't like that the Warforged are taking our job type unions.
So in other words, they're
I,
traditional
I,
unions. Like that's
yeah, I was gonna
that's the
say
original
like,
unions were all
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, that's that.
Those
They were
Rustbacks are taking their jobs.
like,
I'm sorry.
that's as
Yeah.
someone who's like read up on shit like has looked into labor history, like, yeah, that they were the exact same people. The guy like the
Yeah.
guys that fought for Chinese exclusion were the guys that like won us basic like workers' rights. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but
Yeah. Okay. So if you guys are willing to take her, like I said, her addendum to that is outside of the island chain. She wants it on a case by case basis for slavery. That's her counter. She's willing to take any new mines on the island or quarries or whatever. Those will be free, but she wants a case by case basis elsewhere.
I mean, I think we can make it clear that we don't like it, but ultimately we don't have the power to enforce anything beyond the islands, so that's a
Okay.
freebie, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and neither does she realistically. Like
Right.
this is big planning, but they've been locked on the not locked. They've
They're
been on this island for a while.
yeah, they're a nigh immortal fucking race. Like it would make sense if they're thinking about, well, maybe 200 years from now, like as I get ready to retire, we could expand to like Zendrick, and you know these fuckers will probably be dead. So
Yeah, that's fair.
who knows? Maybe slavery could come back in fashion. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so she has the clerk with her quickly write up the contract, and she says, "I'm unsure how your own people judge such things, but by local standards, I'm lacking peerage of a high clan for a sworn oath. Luckily, I've always preferred proper contracts; those don't require it. Um, Here's the formal written agreement. Feel free to read it over at leisure before signing and swearing." And yeah, the contract is written twice over, first in formal giant and then in elvish. If you guys want to read it, you can.
Oh well.
I'm gonna pour over both and make sure that there's no like linguistic trickery with my
So
I
comprehend
would.
languages.
fair enough. So looking for trickery of any sort, I do need an int check as people read over it.
Could I use an insight check to help?
Yeah, you could provide advantage if you want.
You say intelligence check or insight?
Int, int.
Oh,
If
oh.
yeah.
Kay's insight.
Well, you if you want to help
That's
How
Purser
about
again.
perception?
Pick isn't the brightest, but she's gonna read it anyway. She don't know shit.
I'm gonna use my inspiration to re-roll that. This is an
Okay.
important one.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
There we
Oh,
go.
That's
There we
more
go.
like it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I kind of get it.
Yeah, like you're busy. Like at this point, your BFF in your head is regaling about
Can my
like
BFF give me inspiration or
no,
give me advantage?
he's
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 distracting
busy.
you.
Yeah, he's actively distracting you mostly by like fantasizing about what he wanted to do to this woman if they were ever able to really Biapokol became the big clan. Like not that he seemed particularly attracted to her. It's just all of his fantasies are fucking horrible. But yeah. So
After I do that,
Purser,
I just stop and just say, just give my mental. Do you even listen to yourself speak?
yeah, of course he does. That's
His
his main
favorite sound.
pastime. Yeah, like it's one of the
Good,
few mercies left in this horrible state beyond death.
good lord! I
Oh.
would think death would humble you.
Why would it humble me? Just because a barbarian walks up and beats your head in doesn't make them the better man.
I mean,
But
I'm
yeah,
alive and you're
so
not.
so with that, um, you notice, Purser, that some of the wording when it comes to her first demand, as far as antagonistic, is a bit vague. In fact, giving Peckway grounds to object if you disrupt their mining in any way, even incidentally. They could basically claim, that's our culture. For anyone who's played Morrowind, it's the like,
Oh.
no, it's part, yeah, like, um, it's almost certainly deliberate given how precise everything else in the contract is,
Mhm.
and it's in both copies. And yeah, you could point that out or sign it. It's up to you.
So yeah, Purser's gonna want to hammer that down. Like after the last war, we have very clear definitions of what antagonism is.
Yeah, she looks a little irritated, but just shrugs a little bit and has it addended, or has it addended, has it altered. There we go.
Purser will even
And
like pull out his pocket, like Treaty of Thronehold that every good Corvarin carries, and
I'm
like
just,
yeah,
cross-reference definitions.
it's like a little magnifying glass on a fucking keychain. I can see it.
The funnest of the definitions was when they had to work around Valinor. But yeah,
I'd like to think
aggression.
that as someone who works in calligraphy, that Ludger also pulls out his own copy and works with Purser to no, you're thinking about section 27.B. Like I know they're very similar. It's 24
Ah,
point E. Yeah. Flip, 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 flip.
the most
Yeah,
fun Purser and Ludger have had together.
exact. For a moment, all the nationalist strange dislike falls away. And
But I think
yeah,
there's also another good point here that, like, she is known to these drow apparently as the contract tricky lady, and
yes,
we're showing her that we know those games. We also invented those games.
yeah. Like she's
Ah, you
irritated, but
think
you probably
legalese is your ally?
she she's irritated, but she is probably impressed, like at least somewhat, in that, oh, they actually do have brains. Um, but it's hard to tell. She has a pretty good poker face. But yeah,
Hmm.
once you sign the fixed contract, High Lady Peckway does as well and says, I, uh, representative of Peckway as clan head, do hereby swear upon my place within within the promised flame, and honor as noble, that we will join as allies in war and peace. Your feud is our feud, our strength your strength, until the reborn world brings salvation. And you guys can chime in with any uh, any of your own little things, but that seems to be the formal declaration.
Bemmy would just be eating an apple extremely loud. And
So I'm
if
not going to say that plays into her opinions about the Southern tribals, but
Uh, Ludger
Does he eat the core though?
Ludger knows that
yes,
multiple.
Damn it. Pick watches him and
Ludger,
then
go ahead.
slaps his. You're fine.
Yeah,
Like, oh, he
Ludger
ate.
knows there's more than one way to skin a cat in this situation, so he gently reminds Bemmy that if he ever does want to court the fine lady from the Drow Texans, I forgot which clan it was.
you're good. You're good.
He will have to
Limquick.
one quick. He's going to have to learn. Such things might put her off, and he might need to start practicing for if he wants to court Lady One
oh,
Quick.
oh, don't worry. That's why I brought 2 apples. And he pulls out
I
another apple.
I love the idea that, like, Ludger tries to give Bemmy, like, no, don't eat the napkin, basic etiquette type stuff, and then, like, Bemmy goes back with his, like, flowers, and, like, Lady Lemquick is eating an apple in the exact same fashion that Bemmy was doing. um, but
It's like that cinematog like they're facing each other in frame. Like,
yeah. So the with that, you guys are officially allied with the Peckway clan. Um, for better and worse, they're a valuable ally and a dangerous enemy, one way or another.
mhm.
Um, but she will also, since you agreed on it, she will, as the agreement stated, she will give you the information that she felt was relevant. She'll say, I'm sure it's no surprise that High Lord Nixavaro has been intending to retaliate against your alliance. You've been undermining his efforts and reduced his own fraction to one greater clan and 2 lesser ones. Hardly the overwhelming force it was only a few months ago. Your interference with the Gizbel rebellion, has ensured he's almost certainly going to take direct action. I know for a fact that he has information about your home base, um, gained from, he said, some type of dissatisfied local who reached out to him through the Eberron clan warriors he had tracing the Belfour River. Um, you should prepare for a direct attack at some point. I would expect sooner than later. Verwick is well known for extravagant reprisals. And Yeah. She says, I noticed you turning your burning army towards the other siege camp. Did you meet Vixavaro's lord in person?
I think we did, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You met.
That's
You
what I
met.
thought.
He had to come out because you like showed up ready to kick ass with
Mhm.
an army. Uh, she says, the scars that cover his face, and I'm told entire body, were inflicted when he was captured by lizard folk during a raid before he was clan head. He managed to escape, but swore revenge. It took him decades, but he got it. He saved the payout from dozens of raids until he could fund and captain his own ship and crew, entirely independent from the clan. He then returned to the exact village that had captured him and enslaved every single lizard folk there. The rest of his savings went into having them all sent to Gwynedd trainers. An outrageous expense, but those lizard folk are now his personal servants, wills completely broken. I believe they're at their third generation of blindly obedient servitude now. My point is, do not expect the man to be reasonable as I've been, especially after the humiliation you inflicted on him in front of his forces.
Hmm.
And yeah, after that warning, she does ask if you want a meal, since it is getting near day or night. It's like time to eat probably. You get the feeling she doesn't take much time off. She has paperwork out as she's eating. Um, but if you're up for it, there is a meal available in the estate.
Ooh.
Woohoo!
Wait, these are not the people that make their food with slaves, right?
They are very
Well,
much the
they are.
people who make their
Okay.
food with slaves. Yeah.
They are the people. I was like, yeah, I think that I forgot where we were for a minute, and I was like, ooh, food. No, Pick would not eat it. She
Can't
Okay.
pointedly does not eat
You
here.
can't taste racism.
Even if she has to go out and pick it herself, she's just like, no.
That's that's shame.
One moment.
I'm taking it back. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So
Is your moth
uh,
out there picking her own dinner? She is. She's very stubborn.
it's impressive because it's a barren, rocky mountainside. Like you're underground. It's brutal. Um, you would
Hey,
need
I
to
got.
go a ways. I mean, honestly, you could track down like little rock lizards and things like that. You could find stuff.
She's
Um,
dedicated. She's like, nope.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but yeah. So, do you guys take her up on that by and large, or are you just like, nah, we got to hit the old dusty trail type of thing?
Hmm.
Ludger defers to the party. He's not a fan of, you know,
Eating. He
partaking
just
in,
watches
well,
mournfully as someone eats.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but like, he doesn't even want to pretend when that's basically, very much the profit, like the fruits of slavery. But, he also like is willing to go along with party efforts at real politic. So, plus, he doesn't need to eat. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Purser's in the boat of he's not going to break hospitality rules. Like if he's offered a meal, he'll take it, but he doesn't like that
Yeah,
it's
that's
high
fair.
slavery. But
Yeah, these
it
guys are
is
particularly
good
foul.
cornbread.
This
Yo! For real? Am I right, Buster? It's so good.
yeah,
What?
he's excited.
He's very excited.
But yeah, it's this meal is a little different. The main thing, like the main difference is unlike Gwynedd, Gwynedd was surprisingly homey food, we'll say. Like, you know, the equivalent of pot roast with cornbread and things like that. Um, this is basically seared steak, like
Just
basically
less
heated.
rustic.
Yeah, more refined, if you want to call it that. I don't know. The food is good, but it's less. A lot of it is the same. It's just prepared differently. Um, but she isn't much for small talk, but Sophalai is a surprisingly engaging conversationalist when she does engage. She mentions that She came to the conclusion after the plague that the clans of Elam Cusp couldn't survive with as few drow as they had, and she's been trying to establish renewed contact with several of the Sulatar realms on the Zendrik mainland since then. She actually sponsored a Biapo ship before you cut their tie to the Varric Pact to gather what she hoped were the first influx of mainlanders to bolster their numbers. Um, so, but yeah, once the meal is done, it's clear that the leader of Peckway has other things to attend to, and you are tactfully encouraged to leave.
Hey, I'm not going to stay here any longer, so I'm good.
It is
But
Yeah.
depressing, to be perfectly honest. Like it's like Gothic stone construction underground. It's
basically, any building in the Imperium of Man.
yeah. There you go. Less skull motifs. Um, but yeah, you guys head out.
Any way we
Uh,
could get like a doggy bag of that cornbread though, like on the way out?
they're not familiar with that term, but yeah, they can give you some.
It's a very confusing sentence.
Yeah. Um, yeah,
Every single word you just said was wrong.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's fair. He's gonna, but just whip out a bandana, put like, can you feel that? And I'm gonna tie it up and put it in my bag because it's good.
oh God.
And I'm sure
Yeah.
Pick's hungry, but what she don't know won't hurt her. So I'm gonna get her some cornbread and say that I made it.
She will believe you.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So as far as I'm assuming you want to return to Alara, or do you want to go anywhere else? Now that you've made the alliance, so to speak.
um, I don't think we really have anywhere else to go. Not.
You could
I don't think we'd
surprise
go
the hell out
anywhere.
of your enemies here by like just charging them on the roads.
Well, the problem I think would be that we'd still get there faster if we go to Isla and get the boat.
Yeah,
Like,
realistically, yeah.
there's nowhere
Fair
we can
enough.
go and meet the boat in time. So,
Okay, fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah, it's with switchbacks, it's between 50 and 60 miles to the ruins. Around a 2-day trip, maybe 2.5 days at most. Um, Along the way, you manage to dodge a few more like lounges of chroma lizards, um, and later a group of burning elementals that seem more interested in just like torching the kind of stunty trees and things and that cover parts of the landscape, um, than like necessarily attacking. They're just enjoying burning shit. Um, Nothing else seems willing to risk an altercation with you guys. Uh, yeah. So you're able to get back without hordes of monsters pouring out of the foothills. And yeah, is there like you find waiting for you the Olenquai forces? Um, did you guys have the ship go to Mishann, or did you have the ship wait for you like with the like 70 freed lizard folk, Ludger's squad, and like just so I
I
remember.
I think we did the math and said that the round trip would be longer, so we'd want the ship to go back, drop people off at Mishan, and then come back.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, then in that case, it's waiting for you, empty of people, with the exception of um, what's the name, Leal, who didn't really want to leave the ship.
That's fair.
um, but yeah, in that case, you guys board the ship and have some downtime and leisurely ocean cruising as you follow the coast back to Mishan.
Wonderful.
Takes about 4 days max. Realistically, like the very beginning of the fourth day you get there. Or no, it would be 3 days. It would be tail end of third day. But yeah, so you get back. There's a couple things I wanted to check. First of all, you have 74, I think, new lizard folk people. What do you want to do with all those freed slaves on
Give
the
them
set?
hugs.
Okay.
No.
As far as like housing, beyond hugging, uh, like they'll take the hugs. They're confused as hell, but they appreciate the intent. They're not going to say no to hugs. But what do you want to do for like lizard folk homes
I'll
or
be
tents or
honest.
whatever?
When you talked there, Yell, I heard give them huts, and that's what I thought we were talking about.
uh,
Wait, so we're not building huts?
you
Okay.
What kind
can.
of
So,
housing do
w-
they typically have? Like, does
so
Pick know of
Ooh.
any free like has she
Primarily huts.
seen? Yeah, primarily huts. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have the material. I mean, they're
Oh.
natives here. Pick has seen how they natively build. Even if these people were not allowed to do that and don't know or don't remember because they've been slaves their whole life, she would probably try to like find the
Most
books and descriptions of.
most of them haven't been slaves their whole lives. It has been continuously cheaper to get them via raids, or in the last few years, trading with a particularly prominent warlord on one of the other islands. Lizard Folk warlord has been basically selling his enemies to the Sulatar in order to fund a lot of his shenanigans. So that's where a lot of them come from. So almost none of them are like born into it. Um, so
How far out are we allowed to expand?
um, well, I mean, at least as far as the map. Let me go to the big map and we will take a gander here. Right
so I was
now,
about to say, Woodger both to somewhat appease the nativist like shenanigans would basically encourage a settlement that is close enough to be defensible. Like interdefensible with Mishann, but enough that they have both room to set up their own community without becoming like a ghetto. And basically out of sight, out of mind of they're bringing in lizard folk to invade us and take our gerbs.
yeah, that's fair. So I would say realistically, Mishann's territory could expand pretty far here. Um, Even though Olenquai doesn't technically claim territory anymore, typically they only claimed out about between 20 and 30 miles. Um, Wayrub claimed only about 20, at least in that direction. They didn't actually have a whole lot of territory themselves. They ceded a lot of it to Olenquai. And they're technically your allies, and they've strictly like they probably intend to go back, but they've abandoned that territory. So you could go as far as 50 miles out in this direction without anyone saying boo. Um, so yeah, that's up
Nope,
to
they're
you
lizard
guys.
folk. They're amphibious. They can swim.
They can think saltwater crocodiles. They can swim, but like not for like weeks on end or anything. Like they do need land.
No, I get that. All I'm saying is we go up a little bit to the north there and give them something. Give them land by the water.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Uh, do you guys want to be on the island map or the area map for Mishann for that, and to like draw the little dot or X or whatever where you intend to
Well,
try and set up
my
stuff?
idea, and again, like I think two possible good options is first, like towards the right end of a map, I'm painting it, like something here, which, a fairly defensible location because like it's surrounded on three sides by water. Uh
Oh,
Basically
okay.
something here, which, it's only a few miles up a road, if that, which
Yeah,
that's
that's the remains
very
of what was once a bridge crossing it. So yeah, there's definitely
yeah,
that's very defensible.
that's accept that's exceptionally close. It would be difficult for them to get attacked without, basically being reinforced by, you know, Mishann's defenders. So
And
basically
they're right
making
down the
it
road
like,
from Soldier's Rest. I get you.
yeah,
Okay.
that's option A. Option B would be a bit more strategic, which is have them be about a day's journey
Okay.
up the river.
Okay.
Whether
Okay.
like the equivalent of
I,
like
I wish I wish there was
our
an option to let players move between like area maps on this. That is one thing I
yeah,
really like about
or
Foundry.
like the
Hmm.
but yeah, the equivalent of like a day's journey, not by like super ship, but by like mule drawn barge or whatever, the
Yeah, so about
economical speed.
23 miles down the road. Yeah, that's about a day's journey.
Yeah, basically, something like 20 miles down the road, enough that if they get attacked, they can be, aided within a day by Mishann or somebody else, well out of sight and out of mind, and it gives us a useful trading stopping point for,
People coming from the south. Okay. Fair enough.
yeah, from traders. Yeah.
Now, does anybody else have any opinions or ideas about where or what to do with lizard folk? You could also just house them in the settlement. It's up to you.
I mean, Purser's so non-committal. He's just gonna ask them where they would like to live until
I was gonna say, why don't we ask them what they're into?
They would say
Yeah.
somewhere near water, where they can, where they, where they would they would say where the fire devils won't catch them. That'd be how
Yep.
they'd phrase it.
Purser has settled
On
his
that,
moral requirements and is going
yeah.
to go back to his work.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
Luger would probably offer to, basically say like, take them to the ruins of a bridge, as well as like offering to have his guys help them like do a scouting mission down the river to see if they find a particularly juicy location that they fall in love with.
Okay.
And again, either super close, like at the ruins of the old bridge, or far enough that again, good stopping point to set up an inn for like traders and all that sort of thing, and
Okay.
that sort of stuff.
I will say if you do that, they like the idea. They find a few spots they like along the river away from the ruins because the ruins, like, there's all this pavement and stuff still on the ground from the giants. Like, it's hard to build a proper, like, mangrove tree settlement on this. Like, it's really hard to have to set up everything properly. So they like the idea of being away from the settlement further. They don't have any preference on how far, but they do like the idea of the 20 miles or so. Um,
Yeah,
okay, and in that case, I'll put a little
definitely.
mark here.
Yeah,
We'll say right here. There we go. That is mark for lizard folk stuff. All
yeah,
right,
and of course,
and
Luther
yeah, go ahead.
makes a note that once their numbers increase more, they're obviously free to make more than one settlement. Yeah, to the point that similar to Ludger's plans for some expanding his, like, for lack of a better term, his like trading company, uh, is happy to basically coordinate with them with potential trading outposts and places for traders to stop going up and down the river to
Yeah, you
encourage.
you could make the snake heroin trading line. Yeah. But
Son of a bitch.
I mean, Ludger's supposed to be German, not British. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
there you go. Um, but anyways, yeah, so that sounds good. I will say there was some of the rumblings of like, I knew it, at like 70 plus lizard folk showing up, but it was surprisingly quiet, largely because Saavedra wasn't, she didn't show up for a lot of the like would-be rallies to get people going. Um, and
I mean, if Pick ever heard any of that, she would send aggressive, annoying noises into the person's mind and probably follow them for a half an hour doing it.
I mean, it's a crowd of people who are riled up by like, This is supposed to be our home. We're refugees. Why are we bringing lizard folk? That type of thing.
Anyway,
But
so
Racist.
I think we should investigate the person who blew our cover, which I have a theory of who that is.
yeah, I mean that's an option. I will say, the first day you guys get back, Purser, you have an informant waiting for you.
Ah,
You've got mail.
Redemptor gives you his report. Your fucking face.
ah,
Um,
yes.
he Redemptor mentions that while his efforts at remaining hidden didn't go very well, um,
Better than expected, though.
um, but he will report that he spotted Saavedra speaking with an odd person who a couple times who seemed he wasn't sure what was odd until he saw her hand the person something, or them hand her something, and like it was very much when they were handing it to her, or items were being passed back and forth, uh, the item kind of went into their hand a little bit, um, as if like it was an overlaid image. So he thinks perhaps it was some kind of illusion.
Mm.
But Redemptor he'll say he had to be pretty careful to watch Saavedra in mostly public spaces because she seemed very aware of him, like almost the entire time, and he was concerned she would destroy him before she could report back because a couple times, like frost did start to form around her fingers whenever she would spot him. But I will say, while you guys are setting up lizard folk stuff, um, uh, I mean, it's up to you guys how much you hang out as a group once you're not enforced to in the field. But some of you at least, Purser, Ludger, Bammy, I mean anybody really, anybody who wants to be, have been in a group. You guys are approached by the enigmatic fortune teller Oust. He watches you intently from behind his reflective smoked glasses before saying, "The prophecy has revealed a potential truth to me. The luminary's legacy continues, faint and distorted, in an unexpected vehicle. This legacy will bring utter destruction to the guide of Mishann's hope, if it is not watched. If you fail, you will need to become the new shepherd, lest the truth remain buried." And with that incredibly clear and concise prophecy, he seems finished. And I'll post that.
Thank you. You were
Yeah.
talking too fast for me to write it down.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Hmm. The Luminary's legacy. The Luminary sounds like a subject to me.
Could be. Let's see. You don't have the big brain feat. Give me an give me a history check with advantage because it wasn't that long ago you heard it. It was like one off word, but um, okay, 22. Yeah, you remember Luminary being one of the things that was mentioned in her kind of ramblings. I mean, technically it's not rambling. She was giving a kindergarten lecture. Um, the ghost
Oh.
in the ruin of Alara, she would give a very dumbed down version. The luminaries were the ancient giants, ancient giant titans who, all five of them, helped protect the Sulyat League, and um, ensure that it did not fall prey to the same thing that had hit the Mad Prince. I forget his name, but to ensure that they didn't fall prey to the same demonic forces that got the Mad Prince. Um, so yeah, luminaries would at least possibly, there could be other things. It seems like a reference to the ruling people, titans of the Suyat League, which was sort of the ancient giant engineering group,
So
among other
basically,
weird things.
the painting people.
Yeah, seems like it.
Well, this is
I
deeply
understand this
concerning.
reference.
Why is this fortune teller latched onto us?
He has yet to be wrong. Well, kind of.
Yeah,
It, it's you're not sure how useful any of it is, but it's not wrong.
The fortune
but
teller rises from the bathwater with a laminated map
Kind of,
with a
yeah.
prophecy written on it.
but Purser's big
There's a
question is
scratched off
why
name
us?
called. There's a scratched off name on the map called Samuel. Huh.
Yeah.
Like
He what's
we're just a couple of guys and
he
pick.
he drops in and uh, it- he comes in, drops a prophecy, leaves with no explanation. Like this, he's done this a couple times to you guys. Oust is a very strange man. It's an elven fellow, very smartly dressed with like highly reflective smoking glasses, basically, like smoked glass in his glasses. Boy, that's a fun phrase. But yeah,
To have the sight, poor thing.
Well, that did certainly sound like the insane ramblings of someone that's seen the prophecy. These. I don't like this.
Hmm.
yeah. Let's see here. Where is it?
Us,
Uh,
because we are doing things.
if I mean, I would say with his with your history check, for sure. That's an int. The only other thing that like kind of comes to you, and I would say you'd need to be talking with someone who speaks Elvish for this to come up. Um, but you would remember that um, Thavar, or the last name of the governess, is
Hmm.
shepherd in an Elvish dialect. So that could be a reference to her, but could also just be like, they need to herd goats. Guys, if this if a prostitute in Rote is killed today, I swear the empire will fall. Yeah, the prophecy is
Yeah,
always kind of
there's multiple interpretations. It might not be like becoming the shepherd of Mishann, but just a metaphorical sense of like I don't know, but it might not be like literally her.
yeah.
But interpreting the prophecy is a fraught experience at the best of times.
Yeah,
And maybe shepherd is a subject.
it's fucked up dragons pretty bad. Like
Hmm.
my favorite in the Dragons Eberron is there's literally a dragon who's like he was the expert at it, and like as a result he went horribly crazy.
Yeah.
As a result, like he got really good at it. It's just and nobody
It
really wants to put him down because he taught everybody. But at the same time, they're just like, yeah, don't go near his floating palace. He's really out there.
mhm. But clearly these luminaries did something, perhaps protecting the island or some other metaphorical threat, perhaps.
Yeah, they were something to do with a fiend of desire. That was they were involved with restraining a fiend of desire somehow.
Well, shit.
I mean, the yours was like a minor one.
Well, that's not really the point here. It's
Um,
that he immediately fucked off and went to do something very specific.
I mean, he's an incubus. He could have just been like, "I'm going to Vegas." Like, could have been that.
I like to think he's like Genie at the end of Aladdin. He's going to he's going to see the world.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly
In an
it.
unexpected vehicle.
I agree.
Guide of Mishann's.
But so I have an idea of who could have leaked their information.
Yeah. What is your idea?
Just the bitch that's been causing a ruckus.
I mean, that's a little mean. She is
Uh,
a noble woman of possibly a sire. Um,
I'm
you
sorry,
know,
but when you cast modify memory or fucking guess whatever that was, I think I have a right to call you that.
I
We can put
mean,
her in a mirror if you want her gone that badly.
Yeah, I could just kill her.
That
you could ask once again. The Mima option is it's always there.
I'm just
How-
saying, she won't die.
didn't we
She'll
didn't
want to
we
be.
also make it abundantly clear of like Mima was deliberately like wait Bammy, are you there right now? What defenses does Mishann got again? Like 7 times. So
10
like
Titans. 10 Imperator class Titans.
oh
What if I
yeah.
just told her that this she keeps trying to come on to me?
Oh,
You-
cocks mirror aggressively.
Mima, I'm
yeah,
not sure what that word means, but she said it sound. She said she wanted me to do it. Yeah, you can play up that angle if you want it.
I bet you she disappeared real quick.
Oh, it
Yeah,
could
she
be.
said she didn't. She said if I didn't do it, that she'd give me a second black eye.
But
All
in
right,
a
let
bad
her.
way, not like you, Mima.
Yeah, she said she wanted to play hide the sausage.
Uh-huh,
I
uh-huh,
don't know,
uh-huh.
something about breakfast.
So,
she
on that
says
note,
she want Mima, she says she wants me to call her mommy.
Anyway,
uh,
Oh,
on that note, on the trip back, I would say I forgot to mention this. Leal is slowly trying to adjust to his new life. He is having a hard time. Like he doesn't really have anything to do on the ship, but he still goes around and tries to do stuff. Um,
yeah.
he regularly talks about his home, things like missing the sense of peace and focus. Uh, he's kind of talking just to keep himself from lapsing into long silences. Um, and he, after describing Darquat, pretty lovingly, he'll also mention the strange tidings that he'd gotten about the province of Pyrene and how the foreign bounty, the ship he sailed on that you helped tow in, had the honor of transporting several edgewalkers back to the homeland.
Hmm.
One of them mentioned that they had garrison duty, that they had to garrison Duel heavily for the first time since the Sundering. But that's kind of just him rambling. So, um, but yeah, is there anything you guys would like to do here? I heard some talk of um, you're understandably suspicious of that woman. I mean, still, and
So
yeah.
actually, regarding Leal, Purser's gonna try and like take him under his wing, not like indoctrinate him into religious services, but just do what Silver Flame priests do and
He's
provide
fine with the
support and
indoctrination. Like that'd
assistance.
be comfortable.
Well,
He's good with it. Yeah.
well, the point is, I want to ease him in before like forcing him into anything. Just
Yeah,
give
yeah,
him the
yeah.
support structure that he needs to figure out like who he is.
Yeah, I get you. He's pretty thoroughly lost. And yeah, helping out a little like confused Riedran. That sounds like it's Purser's thing. Is there anything, Bemi, Pick, Ludger? I saw BRB. Who was that? That was Bemi. Uh, Balthazar, Pick or Ludger. Is there anything you guys want to do in that? Like I think Ludger, you're currently helping coordinate with the lizard folk. But
Probably end up, if that lady's still in town, repeating that experience at some point. Why are your dreams weird? Gets wiped, walks away.
do you
Um,
run up and do the exact same thing?
I'm sure she would if she didn't remember, if she
What
runs into
about
her
the
again.
buddy system?
I
I mean, even if she's with a buddy, she would just be like, what the fuck is that? And just as easily dismiss her.
okay.
But that would only be if they ran into each other. Otherwise, she's probably just doing a lot of the typical pick things, which is playing with the kids, helping with the funeral, right? Like, if I don't know if anybody's dying yet, but helping in that capacity.
There were a lot of dead from the raid. Like, under 20, but yeah, there were some losses. I mean, overall, it wasn't terrible casualties, but there were some departed. So yeah, there's definitely work for more. There's mortician work if you care to do that.
Yep,
Um,
probably do that.
and Balthazar, is there anything that sounds interesting to you in the downtime?
As the resident John Brown of this group, I think I should help out those folk.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Ludger is like basically working with them to find a spot about 20 miles down the river. They would absolutely welcome you, you know, doing your monk jog along with them. And after a few days, like setting it up, they're very happy to start moving in, so to speak, and way down, like I said, about 20 plus miles down the river. They're starting to build huts among the mangrove trees and such. And yeah, um, and Bemi is on a phone call, which is understandable. Um, I'm gonna say that we'll take a 10-minute break, and hopefully he'll be back with us before we continue on for the remaining hour and a half.
Okay.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. Real quick,
Yep.
since we're on break, just to avoid typing it out. Like I know you're flying. So I was just asking what would be easier for you to like when you need the tools to like get access to them. That's what I meant.
Probably if they're at the house, because I think my parents are. We have an offer on the house, fingers crossed. So ideally, like they're gonna be there to help try and get some of our furniture out.
Okay, so
So that we can sell it. So yeah, if you could
uh,
drop it off at the house, that would be ideal.
yeah,
I don't want to put
yeah,
you out, but yeah,
yeah. I'll try to make that work.
yeah, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep. All right. See you at the end of the break.
Yep.
Ooh, me too.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Same here.
Man, all this talk of cornbread's making me want cornbread.
I fucking know it. I'm dying, man. I made cast iron cornbread like 2 weeks ago, and now I'm
See, where
I'm
else?
full of
Where else
regrets.
could you get a D&D experience that makes you hungry for cornbread? Come on, now that's quality DMing.
Sorry, Freya.
It's true. I want cornbread so bad.
How about that jalapeno cheddar cornbread?
Oh my fucking god, yeah. But like nothing really beats really buttery cast iron cornbread to me. Just
Oh, well, I mean, you can take a piece of that, squeeze it on your mashed potatoes, and be like, yeah, that's great.
yeah. It's really I think it pairs pretty universally. It's just one of the staples of deliciousness.
Mhm.
Oh, now I can do I have my
I would
cornbread
take it.
recipe right now?
I would take it over a donut in the
Me
morning.
too. Oh fuck yeah.
Definitely
Put some
would.
honey on it.
I'm
like
not a big
warm
fan
butter
of
and honey.
sweets. Like anything too sweet, I'm not a big fan of. So yeah, absolutely.
Let me see if I have my cornbread recipe on me.
So I've heard everybody but other Sam. You with us, bud? Silence is telling.
Yeah.
Speaks.
Oh, there we go. I heard a voice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been here.
Nice. All right. So we got everybody back. Oh God, I'm stiff. All right. We're gonna do a bit of while you guys are doing various downtime things, all your traipsing around. Some time goes by, not like a month or anything, but about a week or two, week and change after your travels. Yeah. And it gets to be about the 20th, um, around 11 p.m. Those of you who sleep are awoken by an unmistakable sound. The heavy thumps and faint whistles of artillery. Going outside, you can see the glow of flames in the middle of the settlement. There's a moment of stunned silence from everyone around, and a split second later, there's another two thumps so close together it's almost one sound. People are starting to scream now, running away from that part of the town, and one of the people running by is a House Denis soldier, doing his best to pull on a boot, as he yells out, "There's a ship in the harbor! It's what's firing!" And yeah, we'll go to each person from where they are in the settlement and what they wish to do. One sec here, I have to make it nighttime. So let me add.
I'm just saying, if the cans have that magically fire, it's at who's the person you like? Savendra, is that it?
Saavedra?
Yeah, the person, the nativist.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the noblewoman, or claims to be a noblewoman.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
are they magically avoiding her tower?
she doesn't have a tower. It's more of a mansion, but you're not sure. This is all still you know, you're woken up in the middle of the night, confused. But I will.
You know, in hindsight, it occurs to me that we should have probably had like a dedicated crew on our fucking ship at any given time, just literally to avoid getting Pearl Harbored. But
I mean, is your family still on board? You may have one.
no, like
We're
we're all
home.
up at yeah.
And you guys are. Oh, thanks for that. You guys are at various points. So I have a little bit on Balthazar. I know that in your home or nearby it, I've been assuming that you have a paddock or something like that, some type of pretty decent place for Old Gray.
Yep.
You would be awoken in addition to the sounds. I feel like monk training would make for a light sleeper. You hear his concerned honks. Sounds like an oversized, like bass-tuned goose. Um, he he you could
He's
ride him to get where you need to go quicker, or you could keep
He
him
is
where.
faster.
Yeah, I mean it's up to you.
Oh,
So that's
As have you know, if the old gray dies, Balthazar may start multi-classing it to
alignment
kill them,
change. Yeah,
it to kill them all.
alignment change. Yeah, I know.
Oh, Balthazar is now a blackguard.
Yeah. So for the record, you can easily like ride him to get close to where you see conflict, hop off. There's not any issue there. But if you're willing to make use of your honking mount, you hop atop him and he sets off at a trot. Uh, Bemi, where would you say you are? I think Purser was still trying to enforce a buddy system, but it's up to you how much you wanted to indulge it.
I mean, the way I would see it is like, what time? Like, were
It
we
is.
expecting something?
You were not expecting anything. It's 11 p.m. about a week later, and um, someone's shelling Mishann.
I'm trying to think of a reason as to why I wouldn't be at my house.
You could be in your
Um,
house. That's perfectly acceptable. I have stuff prepared.
that's probably where I would be.
Okay. Um, yeah, Bemi. Given that I feel like in your downtime, you happily revert to, like, I don't have to wear those goggles all the time to make my eyes water. Like, I could see Bemi reverting to nighttime
Hmm.
pretty, like,
Absolutely,
that's
absolutely.
just what's fun anyways. So you're probably out and about. I don't know if you're in the woods or if you're near your home or what you're doing about 11 o'clock at night. Um, but from wherever you are out in the woods, there's a roaring sound nearby as you see one of those flying fire logs plummet down to the ground near you. After what was oddly enough, like as you run up to it, you see one of the two drow that were riding on it has a um, arrow through his neck and is very gonzo. Um, and you see that there is one left who's a survivor. They are both wearing the colors of Clan Olenquai. The pilot is injured, but alive at least. He looks up at you and says, "You're the Southerner who's been helping, right?"
More or less, yeah. What you need?
Uh, get in the staff seat. I need someone to provide firepower. And
Okie doke.
he's offering you the gunner seat on their two-person flying fire sleds. They're called.
This is amazing. Yes, I've always wanted to be a door gunner. So yes, always be a door gunner.
This is everything Purser was afraid of.
um, and yeah, one sec. Let me put the stats for that vehicle up.
It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no little son.
Oh. Okay, let's see. Zoom up. Player characters, fire sled. Here we go. Copy of fire sled. Fire sled. And Bemi, I will give you permission to take a gander at it and do stuff with it. Let's see. Save changes, and I'll put it under. It should be above Riptider. In player handouts and stuff.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah. So it currently has a pilot. And you are filling the caster seat. What you need to So to clarify what this looks like, it's a slender 9-foot long flying vessel made from dark wood and inlaid with intricate fire bronze molding. The elemental ring of fire wraps around the stern, with a short staff set before it in a rotating mount. The bow is shaped to accommodate the pilot, who lies prone with total cover from below, while the second passenger or gunner stands using the staff as a brace. Um, while you're using that staff, while holding that, you can use it to channel the excess power from the ring, from the fire ring, behind you in the form of blazing fireballs. The staff can be used to cast Scorching Ray at will and Fireball twice per day, regaining all expended uses at dawn. Character attempting to do so, who cannot speak Ingan or otherwise communicate with the fire elemental, I would say Primordial fills that role too, must succeed on a DC 15 Charisma, Persuasion, or Intimidation check. On a failure, you can still cast spells, but you take 1d10 fire damage every time you do. Since you can communicate with it, you just tell it what to do, it'll do it. Yeah, put Bemmy.
Crackle, crackle, swish, swish.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So you're riding for home base pretty promptly. That thing, it has movement speed is 100 feet flying, and it can carry a lot with it. But yeah, you'll be there pretty promptly.
You mean this is literally called Bemmy's fire sled.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh this is the fucking best. This is so cool.
But oddly enough, as you take like the gunner's seat, you see what this particular fire sled was chasing, and there's like a group of lizard folk who seem hostile or something, like heading for Mishann from the woods. It's very odd.
They're hostile.
I mean, they're getting shot at. Maybe they're hostile because they're getting shot at. But yeah, your gunner seems to have spotted them, yelled at them to like identify themselves, and they started shooting.
Remember how they said that like Nuxavaro had like effectively like mind raped a bunch of lizard folk to be his like super slaves?
Mm,
Yeah, that's
And we
pretty sure that's what
contributed to
these guys
helping
are.
them.
okay. I just didn't want to hit any of our guys in the crossfire. That's all.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, so that's Bemmy. Purser, you hear all of this wildness happening. Pretty. It's up to you how alert you are, waking up at 11 o'clock at night. But Redemptor is like banging on your door with his hoof. He is eager to take part in a real fight after all that
Yeah.
time trying to play spy in the form of a fucking horse. So he's
Purser like untangles from the blankets and like rolls out of bed, buckles his swords on, and grabs a shield and wand and starts just running down the ladders of his tower.
fair enough. Yeah, the
And
moment
I
you're
just
on,
blast my way out the door and hop on Redemptor.
yeah, the moment you're on his back, he starts off as fast as he can go. With hooves clattering down the ancient paved streets. Um, Hick, you can hear all kinds of yells and explosions. That's usually bad. You can flutter out into the night sky, and you don't need any shenanigans. You're literally fast enough on your own. Um, like you could get to where you need to go without relying on other things. Um, but when you're in the air, you spot over, well over a dozen of the drow flying machines humming through the air above town, firing at each other with arcs of flame. Um, Out in the bay, you can see the looming silhouette of a ship, like very similar to your Riptider, with the occasional flash of guns or
Don't like
arcane
that.
cannons.
If I am within 120 feet of any of my party members, she's going to broadcast. What do? They are fighting in the air. Looks like another Riptider coming in.
I would say you can fly, like fluttering around.
Yeah.
Purser is pretty close to you. Like you could see Redemptor like hauling
Okay.
ass and flutter down and speak with him without any issue.
Okay. Yep, she would she would go do that.
And Ludger, you may not sleep, but it's hard to not yell out an alarm the moment you hear that distinctive sound of arcane artillery. It may be different than what you were used to in the last war, but it's close enough to trigger that familiar rush of like cold sweat almost, even through the muted emotions since the procedure of yours.
Woodger immediately froze on his gear. Takes Hala and the children immediately to the closest blockhouse
Mhm.
to get them to safety. And I'm not sure if Pick has gotten close enough, but he wants to basically like immediately communicate her that he wants to link up with Purser, to immediately we're we're going he wants to take the fight to that fucking ship.
Yep,
Uh,
that's exactly what
Specifically,
Purser was
you
thinking.
know,
Yeah.
cast fly, and we're going to show these fucks what happens when basically, we're going to show these these motherfuckers who want a war. We'll show them a real war.
Yeah, that's fair. As you like after dropping off your wife and kids at the blockhouse, you're reminded of the Undoran raid that hit Reichenmark when you were there in the academy. If this is following the same pattern, they're probably coming from the water. Um, and yeah, I would say all of you can link up at will, because you're all probably headed for the bay. The only exception might be Bemi. Bemi, do you want to keep following the apparent lizard folk weirdos, or what do you want to do?
And they said those lizard folk come from the northwest.
Yeah, they were coming up. They were actually going by his house. So sticking to the
Uh,
jungle, being sneaky.
if anything, if I were to spot them, I don't know how close they are. I would probably go there instead.
You wouldn't be able to spot them yet. Like that's about little over a mile away still. Like even with Bemi flying over them.
Ca- hmm.
Now, if Bemi, if you wanted to like ignore them and fly to the town, I would hand wave that. I just like I don't want it to be a hindrance, but I do want you guys to have an idea of distances.
What I would
Also, all
like.
of you have any equipment. Like there's no, you don't need to do the. I don't have time to put on my armor. You will waive that. You're fully equipped. Don't worry.
Okay, what I would like to do is do I see one close enough for me to cast Hunter's Mark? That's what I would like to know.
Yeah, you could yell at the pilot to get closer. Yeah, he can
Okay.
swoop down closer. That you'll take some arrow shots, but absolutely.
Here's the part where I take the Blackadder venom and drop me in front of the lizard folk.
Let's see here.
And
Oh,
you know what? Why not? I'll upcast it
also
too.
would have been a stretch considering that for me to, especially with concerns about the nativists and other stuff, to have had some of my guys also at the house.
Yeah,
Mainly just to
that's
basically have a
fine.
combination of guys to start organizing a proper defense of the civilians, as well as running a message to some sort of mage to immediately send a sending spell to Soldier's Rest to, notify that garrison to come to Mishann at full speed.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot to ask, but you gained an additional 10 soldiers. Necroforge kind of came in a big group. They were not doing very well, but you have old hands who have stabilized much more under the influence of that temple. You could absolutely have as many of them as you want. I'm not gonna be. You wouldn't. That's however you want to position it. It's fine with me.
Let's say somewhere,
Necroforge.
let's say 2 or 3, literally just the equivalent of it seems like a reasonable detail, especially considering the whole thing is not to have them running around the clock, but have them mostly chill.
Okay.
Basically take organize the defense of the blockhouse with Ludger's children and wife in it, as well as a runner to whatever mage to again send a sending spell to alert the entire garrison. So, like, that entire force of Necroforged is coming to the relief of Mishann. I'll say it's going to take them like an hour or some shit, but
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
And I
Yeah. Go
would
ahead.
say I'm going to activate the visage and speak with the 600 feet of. I guess this has got super thaumaturgy because of this, and say get to the. I forgot what they're calling that bunkers, but defensive positions.
The blockhouse. You're good. Yep.
Get to the blockhouses, yeah. And now
Okay.
I got 100. I have 120 feet of dark vision, including dark through darkness.
Sounds good. Sounds good. One
And
sec,
now
Bemmy.
you see a half elf and like riding a I forgot old gray and like almost like a purple outline around him.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's rides again. Yeah. So Bemmy, as you fire at them, these lizard folk, some of them start to get a little like wavy. It's funny. It's weird. And a moment later, the like whatever they look like tends to change a little bit, and they seem to be drow now.
Mm.
Perhaps having used disguise self to try and get closer while it was safer. But you have foiled their spot by being near them. Um, one sec here. I will put you and your guys separate, and then I will. So everybody who's still in town, you guys are headed for the docks. Am I correct in that? Like
yep.
Yeah, I
where
hit
the ship is?
Ludger with an upcasted fly, and I think that's where we're going at least.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. And pick you're tagging along, and it sounds like uh so I don't know why I can't. Sounds like Balthazar is doing the same. There we go. I know I get there.
She is
If Ludger's
sparing the
plan
dying
works
if
out,
anybody's
I have
down.
no clue that the lizard folk are coming from northwest. I'm heading to the ship. Yeah.
Okay. So
Uh,
spare the dying. I got that. And let
if
me.
if she runs into anybody who is that on the way.
Gotcha.
Almost been making magic talk to me. Then yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Fair
And she
enough.
might be taking
Ludger's
pot shots if she sees any of the enemy. That's
You
she'll
don't see
just
any initially as you're coming up, but as you get closer, like it becomes clear that they must have landed at different spots. And your drow allies seem to have reacted pretty quickly, at least in the sense that, probably a part of it is they're nocturnal, but their air force is out, and there's definitely some dogfight stuff happening in the sky over the town. Let me put Bemmy on the map here where he is. Uh, there we go. Okay, so I'll put Bemmy on this one.
Ludger right now really does want to communicate. Like, he really wants to literally assault, if possible, assault the enemy ship, and like both silence that artillery, as well as like he basically sees that if we kill that ship, this entire attack spectacularly falls apart.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
It's
Bemmy
another
can.
moment where Ludger and Purser are perfectly in sync.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Bemmy, can you see the where you're at on the map?
Oh, oh, I can see him.
Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah. And now I will warn you that that whole lot of them means that they're going to be shooting the ever loving hell out of you as you get closer. Just a fair warning. And so I'll go back to this point here. Let's see.
This guy is different.
He is. In fact, he looks a little familiar. You swear you've seen him before. Um, maybe even at that, like, when you guys bullied the clan heads into doing stuff, like surrendering or leaving. When you showed up with, like, that army and was like, get out, and they left. Okay. So, As you rush towards the commotion, pretty much everybody in town, the screams and yells of panic get louder and louder as more people come out of their homes to see what's happening, and then promptly, like, it's not quite like you know, Marx Brothers films where they're just completely losing their mind with fear. But it's definitely like nobody was prepped for this really. So there's a lot of like people grabbing family members and just like running for the blockhouses and things like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, getting close as you guys get closer to the harbor, following one of the
Oh,
streets.
actually, before that, as Ludger and I like lift off and I get off of Redemptor, I'm gonna give him the command to get as many people to safety as possible.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's fair.
I'll even
We'll
send Pearl to help.
yeah, there's a
I don't
cat
know what it'll
on the
do,
back of the
but
horse. Yeah. I mean, people like cats. Good people like cats. But yeah, so as you guys get closer to the harbor, you see a line of Deneth soldiers, Mishann militia, and even some lizard folk. They're trying to hold back a wave of Nuxavaro and Eberron clan warriors, as well as some, like, they look like conscript drow. But they're having a terrible time rallying in this chaos. You see a makeshift barricade, but there's only 3 defenders still alive by the time you guys have arrived. And I will put you on that map, and you can um, roll into initiative. Let's see. Any right.
I'm still
Do
on
the
the
thing.
big map.
I know. I'm trying to get it to work here.
I'm just,
It's been a while
I'm
since
just
I
it's a
did
bit of
saying,
a complicated situation.
if Old Grey dies, I may be abusing that venom and going full max pain on them.
Yeah. Let's see.
You go full
Pick was
punish
not on the
Balthazar.
map to click, so it did not put my.
I'll put you on in a sec here. I'm just trying to. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, Sean Streets 2. Okay, it's been a while since I did that, and I will put you guys on the map. Balthazar.
You can keep Old Grey off map. I say I just jumped off him.
Yeah, that's fine. Ludger.
Unless you want to kill the bird and see how fucked up Balthazar really can be.
Listen, if you want to do that, you can, but it's not in any way enforced. All right, so I'll
He's
put
off
up
map. If you want to pull
initiative.
him in and shoot him, go ahead.
No, you're good. Let me add pick. Pick. You didn't charge for it. I'm just adding your turn, and it was 5.19. Okay. And Bemby, I'm gonna put you. Bemmy, roll initiative. And I'll add you on this so I know when to switch over to the like to the other map a mile away. Zach, you with us? There we go. Okay, 18. Thank you.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, just
I'll put you on this and just add it so I don't forget you, but you're not actually here. Right. You're on the roof. Okay. Oh, wait, it already added you. Neat. Okay. Now I get to add all these guys. I'm just gonna do 1 round per each group because otherwise initiative will
That's
be
absolutely fair.
rippling. I don't normally do big scenes like this, but seemed kind of appropriate.
And
What the
Purser's going
fuck
to be
is that?
flying at like rooftop level. I'm not sure how tall the buildings are.
Yeah. Huh. 1 sec. Here. Flip. What the fuck out? Okay, well, whatever. A random guy vanishes. Let's see. We have Bryn, Greyblade, Nixabaro. We want Atturn, and I think that's everybody. Okay, so Greyblade's first. Greyblade is a rank within the Deneth clan. Or, yeah, clan. House. Nixabaro. And okay. And let's see. conscripts. There we go. I knew I was forgetting somebody. And I will even add, for Bemi's sake, I'll go to the other grouping of maps, go here, and I will add the enemies here at turn. They all go on his turn. Okay. All right. So, sending. All right. So, in the town of Mishann, it is Ludger's turn. And
Okay.
what would you like to do?
Okay. So just to clarify,
Mhm.
these guys, those are the Junkyard Dog clan. I remember these as the Viking clan,
Yep.
and these are enemy conscripts.
Yep.
I just want to make
Absolutely.
sure I don't, because you said there were free people still alive. I don't want to accidentally nuke our own.
Yeah,
Our
I
own.
said 3. Somehow there's only 1. So I guess there's just 1. I don't know where the others went, but there's 1 still
Yeah,
alive. He's over here.
I know there
Uh,
was one here that
he
basically
just fucking
vanished into the ether.
evaporated somehow. Yeah, I clicked on him and he evaporated. But he was Mishann Militia, so he had 11 hit points. I wasn't too confident about his survival rate, anyways. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are any
What?
of the drow friendlies?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
There's basically fights happening, erupting all over along the water side.
Right.
With like everybody trying to race in as quick as they can. It seems like the ship sent out a bunch of little ships to basically like do a staggered
Mhm.
landing at different points. So
And if I remember correctly, Purser did hit me with fly, right?
Yes.
okay, there you
Okay.
go. Flying up
So
wings.
I am going to start shouting at them effectively, like, the same repeat of like, oh, you want war? We'll show you how Corvarans do war. And I activate my lightning arrow.
Okay.
Uh,
Promptly shoot the
and
one remaining Corvair. I'm kidding.
uh, why not? I am going to hit.
This boy here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit that guy with a lightning arrow.
Almost none of these look at full health, by the way. Like, that's not to say that they're badly messed up. Most of the warriors are nowhere near, aren't in particularly bad shape, but most of them do have some cuts, some scrapes. You know,
Okay.
this is
So 1
that hits.
and 2. Oops. Ignore that one. It's supposed to be this.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna say 2 at this guy, and I'm going to action surge,
Okay. So
and
2 here.
2
Gotcha.
on this guy.
Gotcha.
So the other one gets 1, 2, and I'm going to use a superiority die to add 1 die 8 to that 16.
Okay.
Just really want to make sure. Okay, that is now a 23.
Okay. Yeah, that they
Okay,
yeah they that hits. Get my
okay, so
calculator out.
1, 2, to this guy. So 34, 55 lightning damage,
Okay. He's still up,
and
but bloodied.
that, yeah, that, and that to this one. That is 31 plus 51 lightning damage, and in addition, they would all, the 2 elites need to make a dexterity saving throw. If
This one and
a
this one, right? Wait,
it's
King who?
within 10 feet.
Okay. Oh,
Let
I
me
see. I see.
actually,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's 10 feet, so it should just be this initial 3. The others are just out of it. If
So this guy.
so,
Okay, I get you. I get you. It's those three. Okay, cool.
actually, and
How much was
actually,
the
it's
damage to this one right here? I'm sorry, I just need to.
uh 51 lightning.
Okay, still up.
Okay,
Not average.
and where they basically all of them needed make the dexterity saving throws or take 35 lightning damage. If they pass, it's 18.
Well,
No,
that's
it's
actually
17.
kind of lucky. Even if they pass, these two die because they were like single digits. Um, and this guy, he could survive. Let's see here. Dex save. He did not pass, so he took 35. You said.
Yeah.
Okay, he goes down in a critical crackle. Yeah. Anything else as you take out several of them in the front line?
Yeah. Yeah. This strikes Ludger to be a time for pretty much uh drawing aggro as need be. So he's not going to rush to engage, but he's also like, if I remember correctly, flying is concentration, so therefore he can't. It'd be best if Purser doesn't get hit and ruin Fly because I'm going to want Fly for attacking the enemy ship.
Okay. Fair enough. Um. All right. Well,
I
let's
don't
go
understand what you
over.
mean by don't get hit.
It's you. I understand the
It's not
words, but it doesn't make
it's not how
sense.
I do things.
That's all right. So going to the Eberron commandos, Bemi. They don't like that you're flying behind them, like doing shit at them. And I know you were trying to do Hunter's Mark. Who could you have done Hunter's Mark? Who's at range? I don't want to cheat you of that.
The guy that I would have recognized.
Okay, he is
Let's see, in Hunter's Mark.
120 feet, 115 feet away.
I mean,
And you're about over the canopy, so you're about 80 feet up.
mm,
I don't know if he's in range, but you could get somebody else with Hunter's Mark if you had the desire to do so. This guy is definitely in range. I think that guy is too. Yeah, these three definitely.
nah, I will.
It's not your turn. I just don't want to cheat you of that before I have this guy go.
Yeah, we'll get the guy closest. That's
Okay,
fine.
cool. I will put a little marker on. All right, so it is this group's turn. I'll have them do stuff. He sees you, doesn't like this. He is going to cast. What's the range? I can't cast that. You're outside the range. He doesn't have that. Yeah, you know what? He is going to cast Fog Cloud to make it. Actually, I would say all of them are. Like that's just going to be the unit reaction is to create a huge foggy cloud that you can't see through when they're there. Let's see, fog. I think I actually have a little animated thing for fog. Premium assets. Is it going to do that? No, it's not gonna. All right. I'll just draw something here. Draw. How big is fog cloud? Sorry about this. Fog cloud. Here we go. Conservation, 20-foot radius. Okay, so that's not too. Yeah, that's fair. Then they're just going to. This area becomes foggy, and it is difficult to see into it. And then they're going to. You know what? They would have they would cast it as they move. So let me draw that properly.
Would it be difficult for them to see?
It would be if they didn't have training. They all have 10 feet of blind sight. That's kind of their
Oh, is that
signature
magical
thing.
darkness?
Um, let's see. It's just fog.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah. No, it's the that's what they go with. It works. Let's
It's
see.
10 feet of blind sight.
Yeah, it's dangerous to move with that, but they can. Like
Yeah,
they,
you could just train people to have that.
Let's see here.
Why can't it just be like a gauze mask? I could just see through everything.
All right, I'll just move that here. All right. You know what? They wouldn't be off map yet, but they'd be booking it. They don't want to be left behind here. Why the fucking Christ move? All right, there we go. One sec. This map just fuck me. Height. It's like I need to get the actual guy out of the fucking dead zone. I don't know why I did that. There we go. All right. Okay. So, yeah, they're not even gonna try and engage you. They're just gonna continue. They're running. They're gonna try and just like run through the jungle basically and obstruct your vision. So that's their action. I will go to Mishann Town on the streets. It is now Greyblade's turn. He's gonna, you know what? He's not feeling great. He's taking some blows, but he's confident. He can take this Drow Viking on. He is going to go with his short sword. Take that. And with a 16, he doesn't hit. Okay. Purser, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm just lining up a fireball. Yeah, it's gonna be the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you kill that guy for me?
So all of
Nope.
them, I'm assuming some deck saves.
Yeah. There we go. That's the line.
Yep.
Okay.
One,
Fireball.
two of them.
Not the greatest fireball roll I've ever seen, but
Well, you know
That's
what?
unfortunate.
it's
We
still
all gotta
hitting
start
5
somewhere.
guys.
Okay, dex. Okay, and that is fail, fail, pass. Wow, the conscript is the only one who passed. Okay.
It's a
So
warrior.
I'm a warrior. Yeah. All right. Let me take that off.
Or I like to say Chris Handsome.
Yeah. We can do this the easy way or not.
Now that sounds like you're gonna do it the hard way. Warrior, Chris Hansen.
All right. And that guy only takes half damage, which is good because he has a lot less hit points to fucking pull from. Oh god. All right.
Yeah, and then I just fly past overhead, like 40 feet off the ground while raining fire.
Okay. Yeah. You just um you grabbed Ludger's helmet and are holding it in the most important of places. No need to wear it on your
What?
head. But yeah,
What?
it's a Apocalypse Now reference. They sit on their helmets to protect their balls. Yeah. But it's awesome. Trust me. But yeah. Anything else?
Sure. No, I just fly overhead, keeping my eyes on the boat and the skies.
Yeah. The boat is they have a pretty decent rate of fire. There's pause, 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 thunk, thunk. Pause, 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 thunk,
Mhm.
thunk. And we will. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Bemmy, these guys have apparently pulled from some levels of fighter to get that blind sight shenanigans. And they're mixing it with magic. That's just bullshit. What would you like to do?
We're gonna go forward 50 feet and up another 50 feet. And
Okay,
then
okay,
actually, I just want to be above the cloud as much as I can. And
okay,
then I'm going to hit them with 2 fireballs.
okay. Well, you get one at a time, but yeah, you can. I don't think you can fire both at once.
No, I mean that'll be
Oh, yeah, that's what you're gonna be. Yeah, just thunk,
yeah.
thunk. Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. 50 feet forward. Yeah, so you are. Let me put on this. You are currently. You were at 80 plus another 50 feet up. Okay, I'll put that on. 30 feet in the.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll
So
forget that.
now the fireball gives me 100 feet of range, or 150 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let me see fog cloud. I think fog cloud is lightly obscured, if I remember correctly. I need to check that. Is heavily obscured. Okay. Um, yeah. So let me read up on fireball here, just so I have the wording. Fireball twice a day. Pointing finger to a point you choose within range. Nice. Okay, so it's a point you choose. It doesn't actually say you need to see there. That's okay. Huh. Cool. So yeah, you can absolutely fire a fireball into the cloud, a bit blindly.
I wanted it here
But
because I'm
did
not
not.
sure if that's close enough. Hold on. Math, angles, trigonometry. Fuck. All right, one sec.
And to get it going, you just click on the fireball on Bemmy's fire sled. That's all statted in and everything.
I mean, I wanted to be able to get high enough to be able to put it in front of the fog cloud in the direction of where they're traveling.
Ah, I see. Yeah, the like rush of hot air could very well fuck with the cloud.
Exactly. It'll
Because that's
fuck
not
with the yes.
it's not like they need to concentrate, but it's not like they're generating the fog. They've summoned it, and it can be blown away and whatnot. So
Yep.
okay.
It clears the line of fire, and the guy who I want to kill is at the front.
Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. Uh, so just ping where it is, and I'll erase.
I mean, it's technically off the map, but
I try. Yeah, I extended it a little bit so you can see down here, unless you're firing like here.
I am firing right here.
Okay. 20-foot circle. It's right there. Okay. Okay. Takes a good chunk out of it. I'm going to. Wish they had an erase thing for this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Confirm clear. And then I'll just redraw it with that chunk taken out of. Um, there we go. Okay. So yeah, he is visible, and you see that it doesn't burn well, tropical forest and all that, but yeah, you've definitely there's some like burning, singed underbrush where you drop the fireball, and he needs to give me a deck save. Let's see
They
if his
run through the jungle.
Vanilla is dexty. He's pretty dexty.
Oh, that song brings up sad memories.
Okay, he got an 18, so he's gonna take half damage. Does he have evasion? I don't think he does, but let me check. Uh, he doesn't have evasion. Okay, that would have been a bit much. Oh, could you click fireballs for damage?
Oh my gosh! Yes,
Nice.
yes, I can. Holy smokes!
Oh, nice. That's 35. Okay.
Holy shit!
Okay.
Please fail the deck
Wow.
save.
He didn't, but
Wow.
Dang.
still pretty good. All right. He's pretty dexy. Like, yeah.
I
All right.
I know I know he can't hear me, but if he could, he'd hear.
Okay. Fair enough. Cool, cool. All right. Now we will go back to the main screen. And here. Okay. It is these one's turn. And she's going to finish off the enemy in front of her because, like, that seems to make the most sense. 1-2 with the hand axe. 17 and a 24 for 23 damage. Yeah, he goes down. Hatchet to the neck. Well, yeah, hand axe, same difference. Okay, and this guy is busy being dead. This guy is not. He is going to, let's see, there's people flying. There's 3 people flying. There's only 1 non-flyer. Does he have, they don't have a lot of great ranged options. Let's see. You know what? He's going to, yeah, he's going to target Pick with this. He's going to try and hit Pick with a Hydro Bolt. So a burst
Why?
of water comes from this fella here. I need a strength saving throw as this burst of water seems to knock you prone as you're flying. Or could knock you prone. Depends on the save.
Alright. Strength, I am not super strong. Pick has usually done good on your strength throws. You got this, kid. You do not got this.
Yeah. You take 2 bludgeoning damage and you go prone, which
Ooh.
flying while prone is tricky. How high up were you? I allow, like, you could tell me whatever, I'll believe it.
Probably as high as the buildings, like Purser had been.
Okay, so 20 plus feet. Yeah. So 2d6. 11 bludgeoning damage as you fall to the ground. And that's his turn. Or no, he's gonna move. He's going to move here to 30. Yeah. Do they? I think they have standard movement speed. Anyways, Balthazar, what would you like to do? Someone just knocked a Pick out of the air.
Is she already fall and hit the ground, or
Yep.
Yes,
I was
she
gonna
indeed
say if I
did.
could, I have 10 feet of reach and I'm attacking. Could I technically catch her?
If you're willing to spend your reaction, give me a dex save. Yeah, we can do
Sure.
it to avoid the 11 bludgeoning.
You said deck save?
Indeed. Look at that. Yeah, you're able to catch Pick before she smooshes to the ground, and Pick, you do
Aw,
not take
thanks.
11 damage. And yeah, that's your reaction. What else would you like to do?
You know, in these times, Balthazar has learned catharsis does not come from self-help and meditation. It comes from liquor and unmanageable violence.
And you don't have any liquor, so.
Exactly.
All right.
And you see when he has his powers on, he looks different. And like he, not many palm strikes more. It looks like he's going for just brutal like haymakers.
Yeah, I mean they're literally modeled after like actual giant arms. So you're just like using
I'd say
stando giant arms.
he tweaked it to make it fit him better because he's the one controlling it. But still,
Yeah.
he fights not very. He still fights elegantly, but not. Oh no, there's definitely like some more primal hatred in this.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, what do you do with your big see-through giant arms?
Well, first I make sure my martial arts, my dice is accurate because I think it upgraded. Nope. Okay, my dice haven't gone up yet.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
which one's weaker? The one below me, or the one to my left?
This one looks more damaged.
All right, it dies first.
That one's taken some blows when cutting through the
Eh,
defenders here.
So I'll lay
And getting
into
hit by a fireball.
That too.
them first. So attack number 1, 17 to hit.
17 to hit. Does indeed to hit. Yeah, barely. She holds
7
up the
full.
shield, but you're able to knock it back. Okay. 15 does not quite hit.
Cool. I hit a flurry.
Okay. Okay.
So that'll be 23 force damage.
Okay. Nice. 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 All right. Yeah. She's definitely bloodied. Well, they are. The image is female, but they're
And
not bloodied.
then, as a final fuck you, I will do a stunning palm strike. Roll con. Roll
Mm,
con, DC 18.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see how this person handles it. Con. They're decent at cons. Let's see. 16 does not pass. So let me do the paralyzed. What's a good paralyzed? This particular symbol feels appropriate for giant hands. Okay, yeah, the person is paralyzed. Anything else?
All right.
I
That
just
is
realized I was supposed to do all of these guys. That's all right. Next round I'll do it. I kind of fucked up.
that
That's all
is my turn.
right. Okay, pick. What would you like to do?
Well, I was caught, so do I
You
have to spend time getting up at all?
no, you didn't. You didn't fall and take damage. So you were like, as you were plummeting to the ground, some hands caught you and you landed on your little feet.
Oh, thanks. Quite pleased with this. I think I'm going to try to get up and get high again, which is unfortunate because it means I won't have the automatic. Advantage.
Advantage.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna try and get up on top of this building over here. Gooch up this way, and then that person looks bloody.
Indeed, and they're paralyzed, so your shot just hits. I think is it an auto crit? I think it is. Let's see. Paralyzed.
It's not. It's just
It's just an auto hit.
it. Oh, what effect was paralyzing?
The stunning strike.
Stunning strike doesn't paralyze. It stuns and
Oh.
incapacitates.
Oh, stun. Okay, my bad. All right. Where is
That's
it
just
here?
advantage.
Okay. Well, still good. 21 to hit, definitely hits. Cool. I don't think you have sneak, but you do get the 9 piercing. All right.
Didn't you just say advantage?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think sneak procs from advantage. I think sneak
It
procs
does.
from. Oh, it does.
I think it
Great.
Yep.
contributes to it.
Okay.
Advantage or having an adjacent ally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I'm cool. All right. 18 then. Very good. She is still alive, but badly hurt. Okay. Anything else, pick?
Nope, that is all.
Okay.
I mean,
Cursor.
unless somebody was near to spare the dying, but I don't think they were, and I think they're dead.
They are very dead, yeah. Purser, I don't think you went twice, so I'm gonna just take you. Then I'm gonna take the 4 out, and we'll go to Ludger. What would you like to do?
Okay. Ludger will keep flying. About uh, let's say 25 feet above the ground.
Okay.
And he's going to try to teach a lesson of classic case of when performing like suppression of enemy air defense is you know do whack-a-mole with whoever has the audacity to shoot. So this guy who tried to sneak into cover is about to get hit.
Okay.
So more lightning arrows.
Okay.
Okay. That's a miss, unfortunately. So that's just going to be a 2 die 8.
Okay.
God damn. Why
Welcome
not?
reroll.
Fuck it. Superiority die, maybe.
Okay.
Might make this work. So I'd rather not just roll fucking shitty ass like
Indirect.
4 die 8.
Okay.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's not quite
Oh,
enough to make a direct hit, but the area still arcs and sparks. So
okay. So in that case, he needs to make a.
save. Okay.
No, it's just half damage.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
Um, if I remember correctly, let me read the exact thing. Half as much damage. So I'm gonna roll 4 die 8 twice, and that is halved.
Okay.
So 30. 41. He takes 20 lightning damage,
Okay. Fair enough.
and I will continue to zoom because it's one of those things that I want to like hit these guys, but my main priority is going with Purser to the ship.
Okay.
Uh,
Fair enough.
so yeah, I
Gotcha.
basically zoom close to a Purser. Uh,
As
actually, you
you
know what? I'm gonna
as you
stay
Harry
in
Potter
line,
your way
but
through the streets. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna stay close enough that enemy AOE shit isn't as effective.
Gotcha. Okay. So we will go back over to the crowd. And Bemmy, you are proving to be a bit of an issue. So they're going to react to that. They're morally confident they know what to do. Did you know that Sulitar Drow all have Scorching Ray innately? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. They're all going to, I don't think, yeah, they're going to move out of this so they can see you and target you. Because 10 feet doesn't do shit when you're.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, really?
Yeah. Technically, they could still fire at you. It just would be a disadvantage. All right, so they don't want that. No, he doesn't have the movement for it, so he's just going to continue forward.
Well, let's see. I'm how high in the air?
You are 130 feet.
Okay.
And that guy, let's see where he can get to. He can get out of it, but he still can't realistically see past that, so he's just going to dash. Trying to get to their objective. Dash. Nice. This guy is going, yeah, he's got to do the same. From that position, they can't see or target you, which is good because you don't need like 16 drow spamming Scorching Ray at you. I don't care how good your AC is, that would suck. Let's see. All right, there we go. Here, he's going to hug the cloud, even though it's dispersing. Keep going here. Yeah, they're all just gonna continue going out. I don't think he can actually get out. No, he can. Okay. Dashing helps. At this point, the cloud is as much of a hindrance. Let's see, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Scorching Rays cast at you. All right. Let's see how many is that. Jeez. All right. So 12 shots ring out towards you. 2, 3, 6. Okay. Okay. So, Bemmy, an 18 targeted at you to hit for 11 fire. An 8 doesn't hit. 6 doesn't hit. 14 doesn't hit. 7 doesn't hit. 13 doesn't hit. 7 doesn't hit. God fucking damn it. Nat 1. One sec.
This is
Having
your
flashbacks
NPCs
to my
landing all
fucking.
these.
Yeah, this is like there's 4 drow cats simultaneously casting Scorching Ray at Bemmy.
I'm channeling my inner fire rat.
If you harness some of Glitz's power, you would dodge everything.
Where do I have it?
I
Here we
may
go.
have unironically picked a rat folk to see if the rat curse existed on NPC, so I could dodge all the attacks.
Okay, so all right. So he got his shot goes wide and targets another NPC within 5 feet of you, but the only other person has full cover, so that's just a miss. All right, so and then a 17 to hit, another 18 to hit, and a 12 to hit. So 3 of the fucking 12 bolts successfully landed on you. But I'll take that. All right. So we've got 11 plus 9 plus. I got decent damage. Plus another 9. Okay, 29 fire damage. That's pretty good. And yeah, that's what they can. Oh, and I suppose the actual head of it, he should do stuff. He's going to continue. If he can get far enough away from the big fog cloud, he can at least see you. And yeah, that's their turn. And we will go to Greyblade. That guy is dead. Purser, what would you like to do?
Okay. Doop-a-doop. Gonna cast another fireball.
If you target this one here, it hits 4 people and doesn't hit Baltazar.
Balthazar's fine.
I have Dex and Evasion. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he studied the
Good.
blade. He knows these
I
things.
have Evasion and a high Dex modifier.
Okay,
All right.
so 1,
Just
2,
throwing it out there.
3, 4. Okay,
And the stunned one auto fails.
If the dice says go fuck yourself, the dice says go fuck yourself. I can't
Yeah.
stop that.
Okay, so yeah, that one's very dead. Turns to ash in spite of that cursed flame
Oh
resistance
my
they have.
lord, that roll.
And let
God.
me do the saves from them.
God help you all when I can turn it to radiant.
Yeah, they've been kind of tanking your fireballs. It's pretty rude.
I'm really looking forward to when we meet that vampire again, like post 14, so I can hit him with a maximized radiant fireball.
So
yeah, which he's
roll
weak
Dex.
to. Yes, roll dex, please. So that
See,
guy
DC
passed.
Who use my inspiration? It's game's about over. That's better.
That's fair.
You see, the inspiration, I take no damage.
There you go. And let me do the 2 Nuxabaro clan warriors. Dex and Dex.
Indeed.
Okay, they both failed, so they take the full 10. Let's see. Okay. And yeah, anything else, Purser?
I just keep flying towards the boats.
Get to the
Just like
boats.
How
Yeah.
far? How far away is the boat, like from our?
Well,
You
let
know,
me take a gander here.
so I'm trying to figure out if
I would
my
say
lightning arrow is going to last.
I would say you're coming up on it, but you're like mm, less than a quarter mile away. Yeah. But not an exact thing. But okay, so Purser, that is you. Bemmy, I will go back to you so I can see you. All right, Bemmy, what would you like to do? They were pretty rude. They just shot you.
Okay. Well, you see the line I drew?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're flying, 100 feet there.
Okay. I will move you. Cool, cool.
Now, how high up is this fog cloud?
I believe it's a 20-foot radius. You're well above it. Let me double check. Fog cloud. Fog cloud. Concentration. 20-foot radius sphere. So yeah, 20 foot up in the air.
Okay. And I am well above it.
Indeed. You're
Okay.
110 feet above it.
I am going to shoot the last fireball. Actually, no, I don't think I can reach him, can I? Can I reach him? Because if I'm that high in the air. Know what? Shit, it's 115. Yeah. There we go. 18 on this guy.
Okay. One sec here. All right. I just was getting that. Okay. And you're dropping fireball here. Okay. So let's have
Yes.
him do the save, or try to. Dex. Okay, 19. He does save. Let me. Okay, let me take that off. Okay. All right. And was that? I think this guy was in range too. I think this guy was close enough to get toasted.
Yep.
I'll have him do a save. Bring Clan Warrior.
Guy off to the left. No.
Dex. Yep. What did he get? 6. He did not save, so he took some damage. We'll go to the bottom of the order and then we'll end it here for tonight, everybody.
Okay.
Okay. Thank God for calculators. Okay, so now, meanwhile, jumping to the other map, we go into the Mishann streets, and this time I won't forget to fucking give them all proper turns. All right, so the Ludger is raining fire, or lightning. Cursor is raining fire. They prefer fire. Let's see how far she can get. She's got a dash to get here, but she's gonna dash over here.
Feel lucky, bitch. I don't have reach when I am defending.
So she did that even with 35. This one is going to go here, and she is just going to start whacking.
Look, you're a
1, 2.
great tank this fight.
Listen, he's artillery. Okay, so we got
I remember
15.
him saying he wants to tank.
He said he occasionally tanks. I think the thing is like there's no other people.
There's no one else
Okay,
on the
so
ground. All of you are flying. I don't have a
13.
good
Listen,
AC,
if
damn it.
you disengage and run from them, you've grouped them up nicely for fucking more artillery.
Yeah.
I ain't fucking disengaging.
16 to hit for 17 slashing. Then it's this
I
girl's turn.
mean,
She's gonna do the same.
me, me and me and Purser are going to the ships, man. Like I don't know what to tell you.
24 to hit for another 10 slashing. And then
24
a
hits.
9
What's the
hit.
first one?
16.
16 misses.
Oh, 16 misses. Okay, nice. What's your AC, just so I can update it?
17, so I bumped up my
17.
wisdom up 2
Nice,
points.
nice. Okay, cool. Nice. All right, then in that case, you take 10 slashing, which is pretty good for 3 enemies like trying viciously to hack the shit out of you. And yeah, it is this guy's turn. Ludger, you're shooting him. That's not very nice. He is going to do stuff to counter that, or attempt to. Well, all of them. I don't have a lot of great range. Silex, Invisible Hand. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Scorching Ray. 1, 2, 3. Obviously, you're a caster because, like, you're flying, you're shooting lightning. So he knows if he shoots you, maybe you'll drop the spell. He's going to come over here, fire some Scorching Rays. 8 to hit, does not hit. 22 to hit, I think might hit. And 19 to hit, also might hit. For a total of 8 fire damage. Then,
Yeah, the last two hit.
yeah. This guy is going to, let's see. Kick would be a good target, but she like went onto the roof. That sucks. Can he get over here? No, dang it, he's 5 feet short. Yeah, you know what? He's just gonna follow suit. 5, 10, 15. He's gonna move back a bit and start lobbing Scorching Ray at Ludger because that's what he's got. 13, 18, 19.
Again, the last two hit meets a beat.
Okay, for 8 and 8, so total of 16 fire damage. And I
Okay,
think that's it
16.
for them. And yeah, Balthazar, what would you like to do? There's a swarm of enemies trying to like hit you with hatchets.
Yep. And just making sure I got my damage right. The first one missed, second one hit for 10. What was the other ones?
Let me scroll up. Ixavar. Okay, here we go. For 10 slashing. 10 was the only one to hit because your AC is higher.
Oh, all
That's
of them
why.
missed? Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Or no, wait. There was one hit from initially, and then 2 hits out of like 4.
All right.
So it was 10 and. Sorry, I need to check here. It was.
And I got 3 assholes on top of me. I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna re-roll rather than scroll fucking up forever. For damage. Because there's so many Scorching Rays. Okay. For 7 slashing, so it was total of 17 slashing damage.
All right, I'm going to go with a fan. So first attack, I'm going to go top, right, bottom until I get a confirm hit on all 3 so I can stun them. So attack number 1 on the guy above me, 20 to hit. Assuming that hits.
20
9
hits, yep.
force.
Okay.
Roll a con for him for stunning palm, 18 con.
Okay. Con.
Because I think if you're
Con.
stunned, you can't make dex saves.
Nope. 22 passes.
He saves.
Yep. They're kind
All
of
right.
sort of barbarians, so. Yeah.
Attack on the right. So attack on the right. 16 will miss. Pop
Take off the
in
health
flurry.
here so I don't forget. 4 minus.
So attack on the right.
9.
Fuck.
Okay.
Fuck me in the ass, I guess.
All right. 9, 10. Yeah. The other ones, it's just you're overwhelmed by these like they're very much like street gang advancing on you at this point. It's an intimidating factor. But
I only
is
got
there
1 confirmed hit out of that, so fuck me.
is there anything else you would like to do? You could what is it, Step of the Wind or something? Like bonus action disengage? I think you have that, or is that rogues only? I know monks can do rogue shit if they spend some points.
What was it? I have evasion, but that's all I got.
Okay, fair enough.
Evasion, I just got
I
that
mean,
like level 7.
I was gonna say, like, you still might want to like tank the attacks of opportunity just to like monk speed to the south, so we can, because again, we're going to the boats. Like,
All right.
Okay.
I already used my whatchamacallit for a bonus, so fuck it, I'll just eat them.
Okay.
I'll just eat the ops.
it's better
3
than taking like
attacks.
2,000 multi attacks. So
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, 18 to hit, 14 to hit, and god damn it,
Hits.
and that 1 to hit.
All right, first one hits.
Okay, that for 8 slashing. Critical fumble, 51. Let me scroll to that. Melee weapon, here we go. 51 is Wild Swing. You gain advantage on the next attack against them. This one.
Well, that would be convenient for him.
But pick, what would you like to do? You're on top of the roof here. Pick, you with us?
I didn't realize my mic was up. I was like, yeah, I know. There's just so many dudes.
No, you're good. You're good.
I
Yeah,
guess I'm
I
gonna sit
normally avoid these,
still.
but I couldn't think of a way to not make this like lots of things happening.
I'm gonna sit still so I get the advantage and go after that guy.
Okay. That one right there. All right. Absolutely. You peek over and shoot him. That hits
And then I
for
duck right back
15
behind.
damage. He doesn't like that. Oh yeah. I
Angry
don't think
moth
you guys would like
chittering.
it if I added a 0 to his health. I think you might object. Let me take that off proper. All
In
right.
fact, add
There
3
we go.
zeros.
That
It
would
is
be a little
proper
silly.
pick. We're at the
No,
proper pick
no, we're
squaring
playing
levels.
Pathfinder now.
Yeah. Okay. So, that is where we will end it for this session. I'm going to
Real
leave things
quick,
as they are. Yeah.
I'm going to make a VD6 roll to see if my faint instant charges. So if I had it for the
The
upcoming
next
fight because
engagement.
it's
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah. Um, okay, I'm using my inspiration to
Okay.
reroll that. Come
No.
on, fuck. Well, I tried.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, I hope everybody had fun. There's a doings a transpiring here, and we'll come back and see the fate of your idyllic little colony town next time on Mishann.
Yeah, good game.
But yeah, I hope everybody had fun. I'm gonna end recording here.